I'm going to call the meeting to order. I'm going to read the names off that I see. I got William Hull that's on the committee online, Bill Hull. I got myself, Pete Procco, Peter Gauthier, Mark Poulos, and Greg Balassi that are here present right at this time. Okay. So right now that gives me six. Technically, I have a quorum. I am willing to bet that we will wind up with additional people here. And just for the record, we are down at 23 Union today, and I did put all the notes on the doors, City Hall doors, and 335 yesterday, so took care of that. So
before or after golf from yesterday?
I didn't play. I didn't play yesterday. I had other things that I. Geez, I don't get to tell this on the recorded freaking part of the meeting. I put in an air conditioner at the business, so I had to do that yesterday. An honest day's work, almost, yeah. Yeah.
Realize how thin the line is between empathy and sarcasm.
Yes, it's amazing. All right, folks, if anyone watches this down the road, I'm sorry. Well, not really, but it's okay. Okay. But I think we can go forward with so technically I do have a quorum present. I'll announce people as they come in. And so we'll do the approval of minutes for 5/19. Everyone should have gotten a copy of it. Could I get a motion, please? Pete. Second, Pete. Pete and Pete. Yeah, I was gonna just gonna took the words out of my mouth. That was too easy. So are there any additions, corrections, or deletions to the minutes?
I put in two. One was just a minor correction. Second one was just to clear up Greg Smalley's presentation at the meeting where he indicated Stanton for FME was completed.
Which isn't.
We were just starting in Greenville.
Yeah.
The minutes indicated that both Greenville and Stanton were done. So
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. Good. On the minutes as corrected. All in favor? Pete? Yes. Say it.
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Bill Hull?
Yes.
Greg Balassi?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. That's 6-0 at this point.
I'm here.
Sheila's here?
Yes.
Where are you?
I'll be
you
in transition to come down. I'm on line right now, but I'm heading down.
All right. Sheila Hayes is here. Thank you, Sheila. All right. Is there any public comment this evening on matters regarding the school building committee? Is there any public comment this evening on matters regarding the school building committee? Is there any public comment? Hearing none, we'll move on. CSG, you be up. Hang on, let me get this going. What do you want first? The monthly program update? All right, hang on. Let me just share this. Okay. Do that. Okay. Everybody should be seeing that on Zoom. And let me just put this up here. I'm gonna find where this thing is. I'm gonna put it up here. There we go.
So we'll go through the phase one projects first. For Greenville, CCD number 1 has been issued for the work at building D. That's the gymnasium portion of the building. We'll go into more detail on that in the items impacting project cost. Beam signing ceremony scheduled for July 7th at 3 o'clock. Right now, we work through that with the Board of Education. So did everyone get invitations from Board of Education?
I don't think I've seen one for beam signing. Yeah.
I'll follow up. with
there's plenty of time.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it went out. I'll double check, everybody.
All right. Maybe I get so much stuff right now. It's not,
Then,
I could have missed it.
we've completed.
Do you?
we've
Okay.
completed
Greg
all-
says he has it, Susan. So,
We've completed all the moving meetings for Stanton. The move out of Stanton is actually scheduled for this Thursday and Friday. And all of the items that need to be retained will be temporarily stored over at Teachers Middle School in the gymnasium. We'll have floor protection from the moving contractor and everything set up. We have all the final FF&E quotes now. There was a little bit of a revision to the OTPT spaces, just we reduced some of the items slightly for the order, so those items will be further on in the agenda. We've been coordinating all the technology installations with.
yeah, Cindy and Joe are here. Good. Sorry.
We've been coordinating all of the technology installations with the Norwich Public Schools IT, NPU, as needed. And then we did have a touch a truck event at Stanton for the children that went over pretty well. Norwich Public Works had a truck or a boom truck there, and NPU had a boom truck there. You know, one of the fire trucks came, and we had a loader from the construction site. So some good photos that came out of that event. You know, they had all the kids in the bucket. It was really a nice little event. We have been actively providing information for the city website as well as the Norwich Public Schools website, and providing information for the mayor's newsletter. Encourage everyone to, you know, take a look at the mayor's dashboard. There's now a fully launched school construction website that has, you know, updates with photos and descriptions as to what's happening on a month-to-month basis for the community to be brought up to speed.
Mike, just to go off of that too. So Yulitsa has been working with the mayor's office, and so we're updated on both sites, just so everybody knows. And then, yes, Mark, you're correct. Everybody was invited. I just double checked. Board of Ed, city, everyone's been invited for the beam signing.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then
Good.
As it relates to the state payment request, Greenville's the one that's lagging behind right now. It's been approved. We're waiting for the state funds to hit the city accounts, and then we'll submit the next payment request. Stanton was paid, and a day after getting paid, we submitted pay rec 15 for Stanton, and that's in for approval now. Going into the budget information for Stanton, we've expended $33,047,944.26. And basically 50% financially completed. That will continue to go up as we go on. Over at Greenville, we've expended $25,283,566.40, and about 32% completed on that. Moving to the phase 2 projects, Uncas and Moriarty. Groundbreaking ceremonies were held last Monday as well as the Friday before. Uncas went first and Moriarty went second. Those events went really well. Great speakers. We have the kids there to do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Of course.
The GMPs for phase 2 have been reviewed and sent for approval. Those are further in the agenda. There will be a third contract amendment that will need to get authorized once a schedule is provided for those GMPs. The first iterations of the GMPs didn't have one, so that'll just warrant a third contract amendment to ensure that the schedule gets incorporated into the GMPs. The trailers have been delivered and powered up at Moriarty. Still waiting for power for Uncas. Within the package, you'll see there's a bunch of various invoices. When we get to the consent agenda, I can go through a little bit of an explanation on all of that. State payment request number 4 was paid for both Uncas and Moriarty. And the day after the city received funds, we got pay rec 5 submitted, and we're waiting for approval on that. Just a few little construction updates from Moriarty. They have more from ONG later in the meeting. The surcharge for Area B, which is just the material that had to be placed on top of the ground to aid in the compaction, is approximately 60% complete. Footings have been excavated in Area A of that building, so if anyone goes by there, you'll see the trenches and whatnot for those footings. We've been in contact with the special testing agency. There is pre-installation meetings being scheduled for concrete. At Uncas, the tree clearing's been completed. Stockpiling of topsoil is ongoing. Footing excavations have begun, and the construction fence is now installed all the way around. So there's a full separation between the school community and construction. As far as the budgets for Uncas and Moriarty, these budget amounts that you see on the screen are updated based on the GMPs that will be approved tonight. So these are full-fledged budgets at this point. We've expended $3,468,227.74 at Uncas and $3,472,071.90 at Moriarty. The next projects are phase 3, which is teachers middle school. The design development phase is ongoing, and design development documents are due by June 30th. We've attended meetings with DRA to review the design development. SD estimate reconciliation has been completed. Project is currently over budget at the SD phase. However, a lot of effort has gone into reducing the budget and shrinking the building down. So, I think we've removed around 7,600 square feet out of the building right now. So that will definitely help with the budgetary issue that we have. And we'll see that reflected hopefully in the when the design development estimates get completed, probably towards the end of July. Geotechnical borings were scheduled for this week to get more subsurface analysis going. Those, I believe, completed today, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was Monday. Okay, Monday and today, and now they're done with that, so we'll be out of there. Meetings with stakeholders in progress to reduce costs. Those have basically been completed, but we're still doing whatever we need to reduce costs on that project. Central office draft special legislation, as you were brought up to speed, last month was not approved for the project. However, in speaking with Darrell and Kathy, they will be working on getting it for the next legislative session. So that's reflected in the upcoming schedule. And then the other item for central office is we're working through the coordination for destructive testing in that building. We're hoping to get in there sometime this summer, start cutting holes in the walls and ceilings as needed, just to get a better idea of what is behind the walls that we may not know about, just so that they can be incorporated into the design so that there's no surprises. And as far as the budget update for teachers, it's still being reflected based on the reconciled SD estimate value, and we've expended $714,093.85.
Okay.
The next slide is the overall master budget slide. The only thing of note here is that the project budget values for Moriarty and Uncas reflect actual values rather than projected GMP values. Through the review of the GMPs, the costs shifted slightly. It went up probably about 400,000, I think, from last month, just as there were some contracts that were let to different contractors than what were shown in the projections last month. So that's why the value is slightly down. But right now, without any adjustment to teachers being over budget, we still have $2,236,423 in the overall program contingency. And I would expect that would grow as we continue working through the design of teachers. And the last slide is just the overall program schedule. You'll notice from last time, the legislative approval has been pushed out to basically February with the session ends at the end of June next year. So, you know,
Beginning of June, I think. yeah.
End of
June.
beginning of June. So, you know, what I did put in there was the grant application resubmittal within some of those months, but you know, it's still tied to the legislative approval. So it basically has us, you know, starting design, schematic design and programming in July. Now, this is probably something that we should discuss as to whether or not the city wants to potentially start the design early on these projects, you know, without an approved grant application. You know, there's a few different ways to look at it. I think the project definitely needs to get done based on the bond referendum language. So, you know, typically, you know, CSG would be accustomed to having an approved grant application in before we started the design. But I think given the circumstances in Norwich that the project has to get done, it more or less goes regardless of
It-
reimbursement. or
Yeah,
not.
at some point, let's set up a meeting with you, me, Josh, and maybe the city manager,
Okay.
and we'll sit down and have a chat about it, see how they want to go forward.
All right, that sounds good. And that's all I got, unless anyone has any questions.
Questions for Big Mike?
So the central office project is just, that's the elastic timelines, yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, if I was to say, I would probably say that this is as close to worst case scenario as it would be, because I've pushed out legislative approval all the way, you know, basically through the next legislative cycle.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, well, the session ends beginning in June, but then the governor has 2 weeks to sign everything, so.
no.
yeah, and then we would probably have to queue up the resubmittal of the grant application within that same period,
Mm,
because the special legislation would likely come first. That would give us, it would determine if the project's actually reimbursable within
Yep.
DAS and OGA. And then priority grant applications are due on June 30th, so we would need that application in while we're waiting for the approved legislation to get passed.
it might be worthwhile to check with them too about the situation, our situation, because I don't want to have them say, well, no, you started before we said anything, and then, you know, they want to try to, you know, mess up that
So
process.
they wouldn't have an issue with us starting if it was design.
Well, they may deem it ineligible.
Yeah,
Without a grant application.
yeah, we'll check, just, it can't hurt to inquire.
Mike, I have a question for you.
But the time that we have to design it so that way we have a tighter budget and go into the state with, okay, here's our grant application. I think that's, you know, advantageous. However, we have to have a discussion that any work that we've done prior to the submission of the grant application would be deemed eligible. Because then the design services without that are ineligible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm concerned about,
Yeah.
so I just want to make sure that we're,
So even like the destructive inquiry phase, that probably wouldn't be covered.
The destructive inquiry phase was always something that was kind of up in the air as to whether or not we would get reimbursement for the $60,000 that, or 60 or 80, I can't remember the exact value. However, $60,000 or $80,000 to understand what's in that building, if you've ever done a renovation project, could save $6 million, right? Like
yeah, we had plenty of surprises with Kelly, and that's a younger building.
Yeah.
To let the rats and the bats out,
Yeah.
so,
there's no doubt.
that you know of.
I know there definitely
There's some bad jokes in there, but I get in trouble with that stuff.
Yeah, but we can
Mark,
approve it.
Yeah. Yes, Susan, you had a question?
yeah, Mike, do you think we should revisit the ed spec since we did that so long ago for Huntington? Or is that done?
I think that we could revisit the ed specs, however, I'd caution you in revisiting the ed specs in that, you know, the estimates for this project were done 2 years ago. So we've also incurred escalation from the estimate that we had. So, any potential additions to the ed specs for scope that you'd like incorporated in the building is truly gonna come down to where the budget stands more so than anything else.
All right, we can talk about that another time, but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yeah, Sheila. In person. All right.
Take my seat, take my seat. There's no consultants up there, so, yeah. Anyway.
Let's do this. Yeah, right.
Everybody, we're gonna go through the phase one. So relative to construction administration, our support, it continues as it has over the last several months at Stanton and Greenville. Weekly site visits, field reports, issued weekly, review of PCOs, pay recs, and attending any pre-installs that may be necessary. At Stanton, key submittals include flooring shops, signage shops, and insulated coiling door. At Greenville, key submittals, ACM panels, curtain wall, and storefront, casework and millwork, glass and glazing. So it's kind of a snapshot of where we are in terms of our field observation reports. We're at 44 for Greenville, Stanton, 48 weekly observation reports. And you can see in terms of the types of things that we're after, we're heading into interior finishes quickly at Stanton, and Greenville's playing catch up very quickly. And I'm sure the folks at Downs will have plenty to report on that. You go to the next slide. Again, Downs will report on these, but at Greenville, the sketch in the upper left-hand corner was a year and a half ago, kind of a perspective, and now you could actually see the shaping of the building coming together at the main entrance. If you go to the next slide, this is an overview from kind of the playground area at the upper level. We're probably up a little higher than it will be, but it gives you a sense of how much of the building is enclosed at Greenville, looking down towards Golden. If you go to the next slide, inside, lots of stuff happening relative to mechanical, electrical, plumbing, fire protection. And it's keeping our MEPs active in terms of just review of it all. And next slide, over at Stanton, similarly sketch in the upper left, and you can see the actual space, the work on the project.
That ladder isn't properly secured, but just for the record.
Kind of up here without any high seat down. Next slide. Tile work throughout the corridors as well as bathroom spaces. So interior finishes going in. Next slide. Ceiling. So this is at the main library space. Various ceilings, lighting, etc. Heading forward. So again, staying after these things. At our last meeting, we talked about dedication plaque. It was recommended we get a look at the Kelly Middle School sample, which we did. I have the reference one there from the Pleasant Valley only because that's what our spec calls for in terms of color. It's kind of an inverse of the Kelly. And to the right is our proposed layout, which it does follow the Kelly model. We'll leave it for your review. And again, looking for kind of a final sign off before we ultimately send this thing through. So things like spelling of names, whatever, has to be considered as we take a look at this.
I don't know, it's just not for me to see.
Yeah, I got it. I'm just trying to say. I know I think we got Yeah, we got to circulate. I think, did we get emails out on this? I can't remember.
So the
It'll
two
be in
thousand
tonight's PDF.
Okay.
So as that goes out. to
I'll,
the committee,
I'll
it'll
forward
get a
that.
chance
Yeah.
to review it
Yep.
There. Yeah, we apologize for the font size at this distance.
No, it's misspelled, that's all.
Oh,
No,
I'm sorry.
2023, so it's just while the building was being built, it's not when we served.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is the duration of the construction
Yeah.
project.
Design.
Is the city seal. Please make sure that's not the seal that the city clerk is the
Yeah,
person who is
right.
authorized to use. I've seen variations.
This is fine. That's fine though.
That one's fine.
Yeah.
Checking because there is one that,
You guys need to tell
Yeah.
me.
no, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. There's
No,
one that the
but-
city clerk is the person who's over the door.
If it says, yeah, if it says seal of the city of Norwich, that's no good. Don't use that one. All right.
Yes, please, if folks can put.
But that's
eyes
good.
on
This one is
and
good.
compare To others that you've seen.
Yeah.
I know there's a more elongated seal that's
That
also.
may be the one
available.
that's
Yeah,
seen.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just saying, I don't.
the oval one.
That's fine. This one's fine. All right. That's what I use on my letterhead, I think.
I just
Mm.
just
All right.
don't get in trouble. That's all.
Yeah. I remember that. All right. That it?
We appreciate your eyes on it and.
Yeah,
any feedback
we'll,
is
yeah.
certainly welcome.
So if anyone, I'll make sure this goes out, and, if you haven't gotten it already, I think I might have it. I don't know.
So
And-
you said it's like just a PDF.
Yeah.
page,
We'll s-
correct
Yeah.
spelling.
The only other thing that I don't know that we've reached a resolution on is whether or not, you know, we were gonna put up a letter at the bottom thanking the taxpayers in the city of Norwich for their support on the project. I know some of the previous samples that we had looked at had that on there, so I don't know if that's something you guys wanted to consider.
With appreciation and gratitude.
Mhm.
Taxpayers of Norwich.
I would say, right?
Now, when you say a blurb, I would suggest and put forward that it'd be a single sentence. as a blurb,
Yeah.
Because we saw one where it was a paragraph and it'd be like, nah, we don't need, an ivy oration, right? We just
Can you not say-
acknowledging the taxpayers who footed the bill.
And the
is-
support
is great.
and the support of the taxpayers of the city of Norwich.
Yeah.
You know, period.
There are people,
Well,
Yeah.
everybody that lives here pays taxes either directly or indirectly. So. Am I wrong?
who don't- saying it tends to define certain people in certain people's minds in this town,
No.
okay? Not the people who went and voted for it, whether
We could say citizens. I don't have a problem. Residents.
Well. So again, not to split hairs, but it's not just the residents that are footing the bill. Every single business owner is paying, their piece too.
You could say residents and taxpayers, and squeeze both of those words in if you want.
Okay, per letter.
Probably are. I don't know. Let's see. But I don't know.
So I guess we can marinate on this, but I've not, so. I,
Can't marinate too long.
well, I don't object to having the former school building committee members on there, but I think that they should just be included at the end of the list of school building of the school building committee. I mean,
It'd save us some space too. If we just add them in there.
right.
person you
Yeah.
do was forward, you may or may not members. Members come and go.
Yeah.
So.
I think we deal with it as on a case by case, as we get to the next school and we do this section, we have this exercise, we'll deal with that
Well,
subject then.
I guess that's my point, is that this is the first one that's gonna be open, right? And pretty much everybody who's on this committee and who used to be on this committee
Had
Right.
Hammond's first
should be
use.
listed on this one, right?
Yep.
But then you're reiterating that list for each school because of the timeline, right? And as Sheila says, people come and go. If you just write school building committee without delineating present and former, right? Okay, you're just listing the people who have served on the building committee, whether it was from stem to stern or whether it was just part of the time. It's everybody who served on this committee is listed.
Yes, because, like say one of us doesn't get elected next cycle, but have been here on the committee, right? That have for the roots of the whole thing. The name should really still be on there. Because you've done the base of the work.
What about, Durrell and Coffey, the state?
What about 'em?
Should they be acknowledged on the plaque?
We'll
That's
send
cool
them,
stuff.
we'll send them
80%.
thank you card.
I mean, granted, but yeah, but well, I don't look at it that way, but there's only so much room. I mean, you could sit here, there's so many people. We could be doing thank you to everybody and whatever. It's like running into this thing. We're doing the speeches for Uncas and Moriarty, and it's like, okay, I could sit here probably for an hour and name people that had a hand in the project and impact of the project. So it's you gotta cut it off somewhere. But I think save space, get rid of the formal school building committee members, add the two names there to the rest of the committee. We'll reevaluate that with the next time we do plaques as far as what names will go on there.
Right.
And then and that'll save us a little space and we can add a line at the bottom as far as the
Well, it might be some trade-off too. I mean, not with this one, but with the future schools, because if there's a couple of people who are here now that won't be here after, let's say, November of 2027, right? Then you'll be adding other people, right?
So are the names placed on here for the date range? Meaning they were on the committee during a period of that date range?
I would say
Were some
the
that
significant part
earlier
of the process for these two schools. Yeah. So
Now looking back.
so
to
Stacy and Greg
first
qualify.
Now looking back to our first Zoom.
No.
Yeah, so it's just the date range.
Yeah.
So that takes care of it. If you were within the date range, if you were on the committee during that date range, and you're on the class.
Right. Yeah.
I think that makes sense going forward.
Now, is there a time limit when this has to be finalized for
Like-
submission?
Like maybe
Well-
today.
I'm sorry, but just to circle back to what Greg just said. Let's make it a concrete example. So for purposes of discussion, okay? Let's just say for whatever reason, on the first meeting in December, I'm not raising in 2027, I'm not raising my right hand in city council chambers. Okay? I expect my name to be on every single plaque for every single school. I've been shepherding this project since Price was a corporal.
Base metal. So, yeah, so.
I don't have a-
we-
So it wouldn't
we
matter
would
what
put shovels in the
what the
ground
construction.
At this point.
You're going to be part of the deal anyway. So
No, I didn't want to single anybody else out, so I singled myself out. Okay.
Right, so you would fall in that range, in that hypothetical future hasn't happened situation. Right, because when we put in shovel in the ground for
Yeah, they will-
teachers,
Yeah, we'll all have shovels in the ground.
27, yeah.
Well, would that be true then? So now let's not make it about me. That be true for everybody who's either sat here or is sitting here now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Next
Okay.
year, I mean.
All right. If that's the case, then I'm fine with it.
If we're following a date range,
Hmm.
then that takes care of those individuals, both. city
Yeah.
it's only going to be a
council,
year different.
Board of Ed, everybody, if you're on at that time, although wait a minute,
24 to 27.
we do have a different Board of Ed and City Council at various times. So
Yeah, so
let's
that's
focus
those.
on the committee. Let's
Yeah.
focus on the school building.
Yeah.
committee.
Yeah, 'cause
Right.
the other ones don't have.
Yeah.
council or
Yeah, so
state or-
So at the
Just
time of
focusing on the
production of the plaque, whoever's on the Board of Ed and City Council goes on there.
At the time,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Right.
The committee is doing the work. They should all be listed, right?
it's
But it's whoever's the current on those current
Yep.
elected officials at that time. Yeah.
All right.
If was ever an elected official, the day we get our CO, the keys are turned over to the city of
Yeah.
Norwich.
Whenever we order the plaque.
Be careful what you say about it, you know, about that because,
It'll be done, it'll be in September and.
yeah, and they gotta know about the plaque now. It's, right?
The time of the production of the plaque. That works for the city.
Yeah. All right.
and the Board of Health.
We can, let's,
Now we see a nice line.
all right, so with thanks to the residents and taxpayers of the city of Norwich.
I think
With
that,
thanks, you said?
that touches everybody, right? Yeah.
Is that good?
We like that.
All right.
and Appreciation.
With
Thanks
thanks.
is a very familiar word.
Yeah,
that's all. Okay. we like
That's right,
that.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm good.
Hey.
Oh, you could say appreciate. He says with thanks.
With thanks.
Yeah,
Okay.
with thanks
You
to
like
the
that?
residents and taxpayers of the city of Norwich.
We like
Single line.
Yeah.
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 One sentence.
So which
Yep.
way are we having?
W-
Thanks to.
So that would go on the bottom, I think, a little blurb on the bottom. With thanks to the residents and taxpayers of the city of Norwich.
Yes.
All right. All right, that settles that. And I'll send you an email. All right.
As advertised, these always take a while.
Yeah. Okay. I kind of figured that, and then I figure I want to get it done. Unless we make it out of wood, my son's get a CNC and knock it out. Greg's shaking his head.
We may have to have a temporary one because
3D printed.
this may not be ready for the ribbon cutting.
All right, we'll see. All right. Hopefully, we'll see. Whatever it takes. All right. Anything else from DRA on phase one? Okay.
This is, Stanton FF&E will be arriving right on schedule to go in. Greenville we're picking up. We have our, first run through, the plans, the outline of the equipment is just about done. In July, we'll look to run through with, the, school, the end users and CSG. In August, look to be coming over to the Building Committee Board of Ed for the approval on the submittals. In September for the plans completion review, and October through procurement. Back to you guys. This is looking for a March installation, end of March or whenever that works. The reason it seems like a whole bunch of time is because of where furniture comes from and purchasing. We're being advised to try to have POs cut by the end of October and not get caught in both the European holiday approach to the end of year and to avoid the getting caught up in Thanksgiving and everything else in the US. So having the POs cut for delivery in Q1 is not that much of an issue. We want to have them cut before March because March is the typical point for increases. So we want to have the purchases done prior to that. So there's a rough schedule. We'll work out a few more, but it's essentially the same furniture you saw last time. Colors will change to reflect the school. And we'll pick up on the refinements that Mike and I have been doing with OTPT, sure that we get cinched up into all the schools as appropriate, and where there's a difference in a program, we'll make sure we fits that program.
Is that usually all US manufactured product?
No, there's virtually nothing that's manufactured in the US for furniture.
It's terrible.
And that's next is phase two.
So again, like Greenville, we're just getting underway with CA activities. And in terms of key submittals for both projects right now, concrete submissions, rebar submissions, structural steel, which has 2 asterisks just to make it more special. We're really trying to push that. As Mike mentioned, really very nice groundbreaking ceremonies, and that's about the snapshot on phase 2 at the moment. And then in terms of teachers, our work plan that we've been sharing with you, we're almost to the end of the DD duration, which was all of April, all of May, all of June. As Mike mentioned, This week, the 15th and 16th, was the subsurface boring exploration. That is complete. And we'll wanted to push on that, and thanks to Norwich Public Schools and specifically the folks at the site teachers, the window was available as Monday, Tuesday. It would have been nicer if we could have pushed it out later into the week to avoid the end of school. But it was the only time the rig was available during this period. And by getting it done, hopefully we'll have information that we can share with the cost estimators, at least at a base level by the end of the month. So that'll help us with pricing. Yes.
Sorry, so I missed last meeting. So we still have you finalized exactly where it's going yet, or are you waiting
have.
for it? So
Oh, we have. So we'll share that with you in a moment.
I thought I might have missed it.
Nope, not at all. This is a significant issue, and this is the building code migration from the current code, which is the 2022 Connecticut Building Code, to the 2026 State Building Code. The target initially was July 1st. That is delayed. We did have a meeting with local code enforcement in discussion there. There's the possibility of end of year adoption. Nothing's firm though, and we're just continuing to monitor it. Our work right now is continuing under the 2022 code. When the new code adoption does occur, we're hopeful it'll be far enough into the spring of next year that we'll have pulled a permit. If that doesn't occur, we may have to ask the state for a modification. And another possibility is there may be an included grandfather period.
It's the same agency, so.
So
We
that's,
did have that with two projects in Rhode Island, then when Rhode Island adopted the newest code, we were about at the same point. And we wrote a letter saying that the intention was to proceed under the prevailing code at that time, and both of those were approved. That was Rhode Island versus Connecticut, no guarantees, but it does have precedence with the new code.
Did they change a lot?
yes.
Wow, really? Oh,
Well, that's a key concern.
Yeah,
Because of
exactly.
budgetary pressure. The new code will have significant electrical, mechanical considerations as well as insulative and architectural considerations. So that's the reason for wanting to get as far along as we can with the 2022. We do list the risks down below, and speaking with our consultants, you know, they're documenting, and the further we go downstream in documentation, if in fact they do have to make a shift from current code to a future code, some redraw time would occur at that point. So we're just making everybody aware of the circumstance as we know it. Unfortunately, we have nothing real firm in hand at the moment, but as Greg said, we have had experience elsewhere, both Rhode Island, Massachusetts, where we've gone through this cycle, and we've been able to navigate it. So, well,
Yeah, I mean, that could have major impacts. I mean, if they say you need an outlet every 8 feet instead of 10 feet now.
So no, it will impact these two.
yes, the likelihood is anything beyond. So Huntington, as an example.
Right, I'm just saying right now, they wouldn't
Oh, no.
retroactive.
No,
Okay,
we
that's all.
pulled our permits.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm just saying, it wouldn't be retroactive to.
Yes, no.
Uncas and Moriarty are good.
Pardon?
Uncas and Moriarty are fine.
Right, yeah, I'm just
It's
confirming.
teachers that's impacted.
So any of the 4 that are under construction, all the permits have been pulled already.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah,
So
we're
that
looking, this is the teachers' middle school update. Huntington will likely fall into that new code.
and renovations would be under the new code too.
Yeah.
Yes. Next slide.
Just one question, no,
Please.
ventilation. Any major changes in the 26 code versus 22 ventilation?
My understanding is yes.
I was thinking that would probably be, something.
What did they decide?
I would have thought it would be something in 22.
He says, how often they
Post-COVID.
do it every 4
22,
years.
they upped insulation, building insulation, the envelope, how it's constructed. All of these are built to that. That was a big change for detailing and even a bigger change for the guys in the field
Yeah.
and how they build. And now they're probably catching up with ventilation and other systems like
Yeah.
that. Because it kind of one leaps ahead of the other. As you
Yeah.
go, but-
Well, I just figured post-COVID that would, you know. deal with
Did
this.
we get involved with items? That would be the one.
Well, yeah, it runs across, I mean, as an example, part of the mechanical compliance, it affects architectural. We're running into circumstance in other states where we are under the newer code. We have to triple glaze everything. Yeah, it's just, it's the only way to make it work and be able to model it successfully for energy purposes. So that's an example of the types of things that are just potential, you know, as you look into the new code.
And are there any anticipated code changes on a national level, like the?
This incorporate, yes,
PA and all that?
this incorporates the national code. So, yeah, Connecticut has its overlay, but it's basically, it's the IBC, International Building Code.
So on a brighter note, get ready to take teachers through the regulatory process in town with the footprint set and the site plan pretty well set. We are preparing package to take down for a pre-submittal discussion with Deanna and Dan and folks over planning, and then we'll make that submittal. And we will go, as we did before, through wetlands and then the vision of the city plan, and anticipate it to run as it will before. What the one piece we will put in this is the sign, which on the previous four were shown as a future sign to be determined. We now have the agreement with the city planning side and the zoning side, so we'll show the size of the sign and the location and its actual install.
For pricing purposes, can we still run it as an alternate?
Yeah, you can run whatever you want. I just want to get approval after what you build. Just want to go I don't want to have to go back and ask Mother May I again.
Well, if you bring those plans, you will.
Yeah, sorry about that. We're showing old outdated plans here, so these were from the schematic design center.
Nice, that you know where the location is, so that you can run.
Well, you have to show the location in order to get approval, whether it's an alternate or not.
Hmm.
And the difference with signs is signs are one of the few items in planning that are called out specifically to make sure that they comport in terms of brightness and all that type of stuff. So one step is to show where it is, and then hopefully show what it is. Yep.
So we shared this slide with you at the last meeting. This was the building as we shifted from SD to DD in transition. This was the work from April 1st through about June 30. And if you go to the next slide, as we had mentioned, we ran into some rough water in terms of where we stood from a budgetary standpoint. We had some program adds, we had some program deducts along the way. Ultimately, we're targeting a reduction of about 7,600 square feet to try to lower the cost. And it's a substantive reduction. So if you go to the next slide, I wanted to share with you some of the samples. The first floor plan, the yellow, if you will, as compared to the orange, which is labeled first floor reductions. You can just see in linear length, the building reduces probably by about 15 to 20 feet. The reductions of the third floor similarly are made more compact. Major reduction happens at the second floor shown at the bottom. It's the courtyard shaping of the building. And I believe we touched on this at the last meeting as compared to the open-ended kind of C scheme. But in reduction, that allows us to carve away some significant circulation space and still effectively have the building operate as it was intended from an educational planning standpoint. So thanks to Norwich Public Schools, thanks to the staff at teachers for working hard along with our team and with CSG and with ONG to try to carve away as much as we could and still deliver the project that you want to own. So we're hopeful end of the month, as Mike mentioned in his report, we'll be back for a budgetary evaluation end of the DD period.
With 7,600 square foot reduction, that's worth $7 million.
Approximately, hopefully more.
Well, hopefully, well, I mean, you know,
$1,000
the cost is somewhere between $850 and $1,000. Right, but the cost per square foot is like between $850 and $1,000, right?
It's the bulk. You're right. I don't mean a big.
No, I'm just, I wasn't taking you that way. I'm just saying.
So if you go to the next slide, I just wanted to share as compared to the donut scheme. This is the configuration of the building in two simple axons. It still delivers the same kind of experience at the entrance, at the front of the building. Real modification, you know, although that front gets shortened up a little bit, there's some cost savings there. The real savings happened up in the academic wing, but it still delivers kind of the profile that we were looking for and some of the architectural response that we are hopeful in terms of some of the kind of local kind of icons that we're trying to model.
I have a design question. So I get that you removed that all those spaces that close the enclose the courtyard.
Yep.
But couldn't we still have circulation that connects those two ends up? Because otherwise you got to go travel the whole U.
Just the connecting hallway.
So let's talk about that. Just the circulation is it was about 100-foot connector by 8 feet wide. That's 800 square feet. And you just did the math for me. You're talking order of magnitude of 800 to 1 million in that chunk of space. It's pure circulation. We were able to condense. And what I was saying earlier about operationally, the building operates the same way. These wings are individual by grade wings. They have two subsets within in them, like a 6A and a 6B, if you will. That means that no other grade level has to walk through the grade level below it. No grade level has to kind of move through circulation that's used by the other. In this scheme, they all connect across at the front corridor at the second level, and then the two stairs that lead down to all the common spaces at the lower level. So that's what I meant before when I said functionally it operates in the same spirit. When we had, that was the art room, there was an OTPT space, there was some guidance spaces along that back corridor. It was a single loaded corridor, so not the most efficient. And through some of the decreases of square footage that we were able to take that art room and bring it over and make it part of the fabric of that kind of lower portion of the U. So the circulation path is kept kind of in the spirit of what it was previously.
So the major loss on that connecting hall was the large art room, right? But
that was the feature of that
hall.
Correct.
And then that was transferred into the main part of the building.
Correct.
So does everybody, I don't mean this to be condescending at all. Does everybody understand what he means when he said single loaded hallway?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm thinking about it. I'm putting on my school administrator hat. If I need support staff
Mhm.
or assistant principals or administrative staff or whoever to get from point A all the way to point B, which is only,
Sure.
right, 100 feet away, but I have to travel 1,000 feet to get there,
Well,
I'm
Let's,
going outside.
let's,
Seriously, no.
No,
if I have
no,
to
no,
get
no.
on The other,
Well,
it's
you're-
fine if it's just me
you're right.
or a team of teachers. That's
Yeah.
not an issue.
But also I'd
From
like
my
to say, organizationally, the building was looked at very carefully by administration in our meetings. The distribution of deans, the distribution of assistant principals by grade are embedded within the various areas. So there's nobody running long distances to get somewhere. They exist there. They're part of kind of a distributed administration, if you will. We no longer have the large administration at the entrance. That was the original program. We have since kind of pushed out assistant principals, and they're by grade level. So they
Just-
reside in each of these.
Joe, that's a great question too, and that's something like Jim said we spent a lot of time on. And the way that Ed Lavoie, the principal at Teachers, does it now, he does have the assistant principals in different parts of the building. So that was really important to him. So we made sure that that happened so they wouldn't be all clumped together in the front office.
Okay, thank you.
So that loss of that hallway doesn't compromise, safety or emergency considerations for evacuation purposes.
Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, I think some would argue by having the courtyard released open at the end makes it a safer environment, but that's an argument that I wouldn't normally.
The issue then becomes assembly areas and stuff like that.
Right.
You can have key cards, right, the staff, so like if the
Not for
SRO
everyone.
had to go from one wing to the other, he'll be able to exit and re-enter.
Fire exits won't have key cards,
So how would he, if there was an emergency? how
at
would
least
he-
not from the inside. So
He's what?
they won't have key cards, not from the inside
Oh,
anyway.
that's what I'm
But
saying,
to
so
get-
if there's an
To
emergency.
get inside, there would be a swipe access side.
Maybe.
So that's how you would go from side to side.
We can explore that. We're in.
Well, that would be from the outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be going outside.
You shouldn't need a key to get out of fire exit, right? You push the bar and go.
No matter
Right.
what color
Right.
it is.
Re-enter the other
Yeah.
side. side.
From a security perspective,
Right.
we don't those kind of doors, we don't generally put
I know.
anything on the outside. There's not even a door handle on them.
We visited a school that had this it's the Cromwell Middle School. It was the second of the schools that we visited with administration and staff. It has this very layout
Mhm,
at
Yeah.
this sizing of building.
mhm.
So there's a real strong understanding of what we're talking about in terms of travel distances, adjacencies, connectivity, et cetera.
But what kind of safety program do they have there? Because some schools have an SRO, but they also have a crew of safety officers. Where we only have one SRO,
I think they're more aligned with yours. in
Yeah,
terms
no
of
other
what's
safety
available.
officers.
No,
Because that
but I
makes a
mean,
huge difference.
Everybody that works there should have a role in safety. So
So Christine, so when we designed the other elementary buildings, we always have the SROs go through and they plot out and we talk with them about where the swipes should go. So, and then we did it again in Stanton once it was built enough so that they could look at it again. And then we made some adjustments as well.
Yeah, but I'm just concerned, Susan, because of where the wings are connected. Yeah, I know the SROs were very involved, in the safety planning. And I'm just concerned about these two long wings. Connecting.
Yeah, but it looks like.
We don't have any other safety officers.
Sort of like.
Kayla, if you were trying to get a word in.
I don't know which story I'm looking at. Is the left side just a single
Yes, it
story
is.
and the right side is a two-story?
That's correct.
So is the left side
Sixth grade,
sixth grade and the right side is seventh and eighth grade? Okay.
eighth grade stacked on top of
So,
seventh.
seven.
Yes.
Okay, I just,
Very logical. I'm glad you thought of it that way.
And I'll just say,
Thank
Susan, that, that from an education standpoint, I love that idea of distributed administration and support. Because then now the assistant principals are not the deans of discipline, they're actually part of the grade level community, so to speak.
Yes, yes. I wish Kelly was set up that way, but it was built with everyone in that front area. But I agree, Joe, to have them distributed and they're not, stationed in one spot and they have to get to another area. Also, we do have those spots for deans, or what we call now over there building support liaison. So we do have, and they're just distributed throughout the building as well.
Cool.
Thank you.
In a setup like this, where will our panic buttons be located?
We'll explore that. I do not know at this point.
That's why I'm asking, because I don't know. I just want to make sure.
So we
it's
have them in each of the four
I know.
buildings that are being built. I do not know where they are here as of yet, and that's partly because those conversations that Susan's pointed to, those with the SRO officers, you had rudimentary conversation, but we're gonna have very deep conversations where they get into the nuts and bolts of operations. Of the
Well, that's what I
building.
didn't know which stage we're at, yeah.
Oh, yes, you still have 6 months of drawing ahead of us.
And I think
A little way to go.
any safety concerns really should be done in executive session too, as opposed to a public
Oh, yeah,
forum.
definitely.
As you may recall.
But I just want to make sure it's at the forefront of people's minds. I'm sorry, what?
But you may recall by the previous projects, not only the SROs, but the whole of the EMS in the city needs to be involved in safety planning.
Right.
Planning.
Exactly. The staff.
So there's nothing about this design that would
Right, yeah.
cause me any.
Teach your handcuffing techniques.
Deeply involved in it. Both in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Sandy Hook. This building has no problems.
Yeah.
There's not enough travel distance in this building.
Okay. Anyone else? All right. You're good? Okay, thanks. Jim?
One more slide after this. So we do have, as Mike mentioned, at Huntington for the central office, we did want to identify, if we hit the next slide, a summer program. So currently, we've reached out to our consultant team, to the hazardous materials consultant, to Norwich Public Schools, to ONG and to CSG for any input in terms of what types of things can we look for to give you some sampling of the likely destructive testing, interior walls, corridor, classroom walls, cores. Greg, this is the concern around the construction of
Yeah,
and
the
advantage
old,
of a
the older
building.
part of the building, they very well have terracotta interior walls, which read like any other material until you try to cut into one. The back part of the building, I'm less worried about. We know when it was built, we had the drawings for it. Front side, precious few drawings, and it's built at an age that you're not sure where it goes. So mostly walls and ceilings. We know that the HVAC equipment and whatnot is all going. We wouldn't know what's up in the roof, the walls, and the floors maybe. So we'll work with Dan to get it coordinated, get the schedule for it, gets us in and out and repaired by the end of the summer.
And in terms of key concerns, it is that exactly. It's coordination of this type of effort with ongoing programs, staffing, occupants of the building, and then secondly, the ability to make safe after any exploratory openings are made, so that we have the ability to repair it and have it corrected, made safe for use going forward.
Okay.
But there's no summer, this is your summer program, there is no.
Yeah.
Summer program on in this group.
I think there are activities in the school.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're coordinating.
Summer school.
Yeah.
Now, the exterior of the building really isn't gonna be touched from a visual aspect.
It does. No, the window system is.
There's some of the trim. I wouldn't even start to talk about scope on that yet. It's
So like the belfry up there, that may go or not, I don't know.
I don't know that I would contemplate taking it down. I want to know what kind of condition it's in. It's a very signature piece of the building. Too often these things just get abused, taken apart, you know, and remember how nice a building it was. That's some class to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are always
Yeah.
good.
Right, is there
Yeah.
a school bell, is there a school bell up in that tower? or something?
That's where the bats live,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
According to Susan, the bats are in her office.
Yes, they're still there, by the way.
My goodness.
Yeah. That's Shred Mason. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah. Is there a bell there in Mason? Still? All right, whatever. We get off track.
Yes, there's a bell at Mason. There's no
There
bell
is?
in Huntington.
There's no, okay, no bell at Huntington. All right. All right. I think that's it, Jim. Thank you.
So is the plan to go, for the gym to go away?
No.
No.
You're gonna keep it?
Well, I'm sorry, this diagram is exclusively the older portion of the building. That's where the focus of this summer's activities are going to be, as Greg said, the newer portion of the building. We really don't have much testing that we'd likely have to have over there, given that we know what the construction is.
Okay.
Is the gym?
We don't know that yet.
Okay.
From a programming point of view.
Yeah.
I don't know that yet.
Okay.
It's,
The program statement has the gym intact.
Yeah, I thought we were keeping it, right? Is that
Yeah.
what you said?
Yes.
It does get a lot of community use, that gym.
And if we could go back to the ventilation question for a minute. So I assume you have a full understanding of what the 26 code is gonna look like for the ventilation. And given what happened with COVID, is that 26 that rolls all the COVID, I'll call them requirements or into place? Or are they all there from 22?
I don't know that I know that.
I'm just.
Because I just remember the conversations we were having back then that they were going to be incorporating more HVAC things into because of COVID,
Well,
air circulation
there was
requirements
a
and
bunch
stuff.
of, legislation that
Way
was
back when.
passed regarding ventilation in schools and
Yeah.
upgrading them statewide. Everybody
Yeah,
had
we
to
were a
do
little
an assessment
concerned.
and- So the question is, so for.
Yeah, I don't know if
specifically
the 22
For Uncas and
code-
Moriarty, are we gonna be in compliance or? To the
Yes.
point where,
Anything,
It's not gonna be-
anything that has a building permit now, you will be in compliance.
not with the code 20, I'm asking,
You-
there's the one thing in my mind at least that I would
You
say.
can't, you
Are
can't
we
build,
gonna
you
be-
can't build the 26. Because it's not adopted yet.
Okay, if I misunderstood, the earlier comments that you brought that forward as a risk.
Right.
Was that they could turn around and invoke it upon us.
No, for teachers, just for teachers.
Just.
Only for
that's a risk.
teachers. Only for teachers. Yeah,
Then I misunderstood.
teachers in Huntington.
Yeah, the only,
Yeah.
the only codes that can ever go retroactively are something that are deemed a life safety.
Life
code.
safety.
Typically, it's a
fire
fire
safety.
protection code that comes out of something like the station night.
Fire
That's-
life safety stuff.
That's
That's
the
it.
type of code that goes retroactive. Everything else, if you have a building permit, you're building to that code.
Okay.
So all the first 4 projects that are underway are fine. Teachers is the one that's going to be the toss up. And it's going to depend how far along you are on the project development and what you can demonstrate to the code officials.
I misunderstood. I thought you were discussing Moriarty.
No.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
any renovation work, depending on the percentage of renovation.
The percentage of renovation, right?
Oh, it deal.
Yes. So now
So,
typically.
so anytime you touch it, it
anything
has
you
to meet new code.
Anything that you do as a whole has to match the code, that the rest of the building doesn't need to come to that level. It's only what you build. It can seem a little bit weird, but the code's used to reading what everybody remembers is once you reach a certain threshold
Yeah.
relative to the value of the building,
Right.
then everybody.
50% or
starts
something
gaming that
usually.
Because it was originally set up to be its assessed value. And then all of us smart people started gaming it, saying what's the replacement value? And you never reached 1/3 of the replacement value
Yeah.
because then you're just building a building. So that went away. and now it's by system. So if I put in a HVAC system at Huntington, it has to match any applicable code. But right next to it doesn't have to.
So if you're only renovating one room or two rooms, they have to meet the code, the rest of the building doesn't.
But if I've been doing those two rooms, I take the HVAC system for the entire building and change it for those two rooms, it has to match for the entire building.
Or plumbing or wiring.
Yeah. It's not as esoteric as it used to be. It's a change in how we all used to figure about code. So you'll see it when we get to Huntington and start to illustrate where the work goes. It can look like a bit of a patchwork quilt.
Okay. All right, Cal. All right, moving on. Thank you, Jim. Cal? What, you've been standing there quietly.
For this part of the room is the better side to stand in for the microphone. Greenville update, work completed. We have one of the two permanent stormwater detention basins in place, seated. We're working on the second one that's in the southwest corner of the site. We finished up the concrete diamond infills, which are all the diamonds that are left out around your structural steel columns. So those have all been filled in. We have our switchgear set in the electrical room, and we're working on running conduits to it, doing in-wall roughing through the building. So that's great for us, working on the guts of that system. The main roof installation is substantially complete. We have a little bit of detail work left. There's some smaller, we call them low roof areas. We're working through some details on some blocking. So 99% of our roof is on. Fire protection systems are installed in full on floors 2 and 3. The only thing left on those is testing them, which is happening tomorrow. Then when the grid is up down the road, putting those sprinkler heads in the ceiling grid. Work in progress. We have a lot going on. You'll see in the photos. Rock crushing and hauling continues. An update on that. We will have our crushers off site by July 4th. We have 2 crushers on site. Those will be gone by July 4th. Hauling will continue after the crushers are gone. There's still material to be handled, but we'll get the crushers off site. We continue to install drainage structures around the site. Exterior building envelope continues with framing, sheathing, masonry, and a little bit of roofing we have to do. Site utilities are coming up towards Boswell. We're about halfway there with electrical communication lines, water lines going in now. We have some of the gas line in, out the building and under the retaining wall. And we work with NPU on all this. So the gas line will be next to go up the hill out to Boswell. Rock removal continues at Boswell Ave entrance. Have a little bit of rock left to remove from that area after blasting to make that pathway for the new entrance. And we are removing some rock in the street at Boswell for the future utility taps. There's some photos of that you'll see. We knew we'd hit ledge in the street, so we got out there ahead of scheduling the taps to get that out. We'll backfill it clean and get in there when we schedule our tap. It's not saying anything.
I just drove by the other day, so how wide is that entrance gonna be approximately on Boswell?
So the whole entrance, like from rock to rock,
Well,
or just
the
the road?
actual road entrance.
Yeah, I don't know the dimension, Jim, maybe you know off your head, but I mean, it's a standard 2-lane in and out over there. There's gonna
I'm
be.
just thinking of the curving, it
traffic
must be
signal
coming,
over there.
is it gonna be like rounded, on the, just for more visibility? Yeah, that's what I feel. It's just such a.
Would you know if there's gonna be a traffic light or a permanent stop
Yeah.
sign?
Yeah, we
There's a
have a
blinking
traffic
stop sign
signal.
right
there.
now.
Traffic signal, I get that, I
I
get
like
that
that blinking
question all the
stop sign.
time.
It's a blinking light though, Jim, right? Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
masked
and then
arm,
over
but it's a
the-
blinking light.
Remember
It's not a
talking about
masked arm.
before.
So mechanical, electrical, plumbing, fire protection, overhead rough-ins continue throughout the building, interior framing. And we started in-wall rough-ins as of last week. We have ductwork being installed throughout. And we're preparing the upper level of the site to subgrade. So we've removed quite a bit of material up there. There's still a good amount to be removed, but we've come down about 30 feet for the utility corridor that goes straight out to Boswell. So now, actually from my trailer, I can see the roof of the house on Boswell. which was, you know, the first time I opened the door, I was like, wow, something's different up there. I can see the house. That was great.
Nice.
Let me interrupt you for a second, because some of you know that, the lady that lives up there in the corner has been, you know, had some impacts, uh, both allegedly and actual, she came to, she showed up at the, superintendent's office, and, so it was handed down to me as I decided to reach out to her, because I think she actually left the phone number, and I tried to speak to her. It did not go well. I will say that it was pretty, it was pretty ugly. I got yelled at for 22 minutes. It was,
You timed it.
yeah. I looked at the time of the call afterwards, and without getting into detail, but, I'd like to help the lady if we can. I certainly want to do, when we get to the end point of the project, you know, as far as landscaping and stuff like that up there, I think, you know, we should definitely be addressing those kind of issues anywhere. So
Did she mark?
she's right up on the corner there.
Oh, on
The
the
Boswell.
actual corner of the project. Okay, yeah, any of that, we need a buffer as much as possible.
Yeah.
We've had preliminary discussions with,
Yeah.
neighborhood and planning services about that. You know, when we get to the planning phase of the project, you know, sometimes not all the plants go in the designated locations for various reasons. You know, we've already made agreement that we'll design a screen wall for that upper area once we get closer.
Or put some sort of
Thank you.
privacy fencing for sound.
No, we're talking about vegetation.
Oh,
Yeah.
just vegetation.
What, you circus-
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, thank you, Mike. All right, but I just want to mention that because, you know, some of you's probably seen stuff online and whatever. Just one of those things. All right, Doctor.
And then, we have stair 1 and 2 fabricated at the shop for our Miss Metal subcontractor. Working on getting those installed. We're working on the shaft for stair 1 right now with the sheathing and masonry going up. So once that's completed, we'll be able to bring the stair out and install it. Work to start, we have the foundations for area D, which was mentioned as the CCD earlier, which is a construction change directive from the architect that we received the other day. So we are in progress right now. It's Downs, working with our subcontractors to get that work started based on the directive and also responding to the architect and the owner side on that CCD. So, actively working on getting that started. That's about my update today for Area D, but hopefully next month we'll have the work in place to show you for Area D. I mentioned the water tap, utility tap coming in for Boswell Labs, so we have that tentatively scheduled for the 24th of June right now. As long as we can get out of the street, all the rock out of there in time. I think we may have another day or two up there, so we should be okay, but you never know. And the rest of the stair fabrications 3, 5, and 6 are due to start. We're working out some details on stair 5 to final shop drawing submission. We're almost there on all the stairs for the interior of the building. And then setting rooftop units. So we had our concrete pads that are poured on the roof for the units. We passed the 28-day cure time this week. We talked to the roofing manufacturer. He said another 2 to 3 weeks. Let the concrete cure, then we can get the units up there and flash everything in, finish the roof. So hopefully by the next meeting as well, we'll have those units on the roof, but we have those sitting in a yard ready to come out. So as soon as we tell them to bring them, they'll be on site. Look at some photos. Here you see ductwork install, you see hangers on the ceiling for mechanical piping. See the sprinkler system rough in there. We have electrical conduits in the background. Top track of framing in place. And this was May 20th, right after our last meeting. You'll see the progress as we go. This is up at Boswell. You can see the utility corridor kind of taking shape there, right in the middle of the screen, going out towards Boswell. So that was actively during our rock removal phase there. This is your high roof on the building in progress. See your roof screen supports there to the right. The membrane being placed in the background there.
May 26th, we've got masonry started. This is over in the mechanical wing of the building. So you got your retaining wall 4C to the right-hand side. That's where we started masonry. Here's that detention pond I was talking about, in place with the seating mats laid out. That's area B on the west side elevation. So Golden Street's out there in the foreground of your picture, background of your picture. And we've got sheathing, air vapor barrier install going on, getting set up to start masonry there. 27. There's the first two sections of your switchgear in place. There's 4 total sections in there now, along with the electrical panels on the wall. The guts aren't in yet, but we have the panels on and provided conduits throughout the building. Another look at your interior framing, mechanical rough-ins, ductwork, mechanical piping, sprinkler system, all in progress. Shot of the in-wall rough-in, June 5th, so that started ongoing. Here's another look at that same west elevation of area B. First floor masonry, just about complete in that photo. Still has to be washed down, but during construction, this is what we look at. Another shot of some in-wall rough-ins ongoing. And then this is us out in the street at Boswell, hammering the rock out. Another shot of that trench just from the other side, looking back in. There's that stair 1 tower I was talking about, sheathing in place. Masonry started on June 11th, so that's going up. Still ongoing. Another look at some in-wall plumbing rough-ins here. So we've got a lot of interior work going. Most of the pictures are going to look just like that: mechanical, electrical, plumbing, ongoing. We've got door frames getting set too. I should have got a photo of some door frames in there. But all of our door frames were on site, aside from 2 of them that were a little delayed in shipping. Any questions on progress? Run through this stuff.
Pete and I were there, what, 3 weeks ago? We've got a lot done.
Yeah.
Tremendous amount done, 3 weeks.
So I don't have a question about the progress, but do you want to raise an issue? Pete and I have been hearing a lot from the people who live on the lower side, not on the Golden Street side, but Page Street.
Fourth.
Yeah. Regarding the parking and the saltiness. So if I would imagine some of the subcontractor workers, when they're down there dealing with the residents will express concerns about the way people are driving on those narrow streets and where they're parking, and they get responses that don't meet our expectations in terms of the way we want our residents treated, to put it nicely. I don't know how you want to handle that, but parking in that neighborhood is already an issue. So either we need to come up with a remedy for a place for these folks to park, not the residents, meaning the workers, like we did over at Stanton by using the Assembly of God Church parking lot, or the foreman or who these contractors are working for needs to address some of the behavior responses.
We can address that immediately with the foreman to talk to their employees tomorrow morning. And then we can also review our options where we can maybe park some folks.
At our NRZ meeting last month, one lady was in tears from some of the comments made to her.
I was not aware that was occurring on the street parking. So we'll definitely raise that tomorrow, first thing. Get that out there to address, and then we'll continue to work on finding
Give
some
them all
alternate
about,
parking.
so straighten up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you can't treat people like that.
Yeah.
I mean, all the foremen can talk to their guys all the shops, right? But, I'm just trying, I'm thinking of that area though, in alternate parking.
What about St. Mary's?
Adult.
Adult ed,
Yeah.
but that lot's not all that big. It's not
Is it
that
in
big.
school?
just-
No, that's what I'm saying, because they're done.
Adult ed.
Right, so there's
That's an area.
But is anybody,
For
do
the
they
summer
have
anyway.
anything there during the summer? I can't remember.
I don't think.
No, not like
No.
usually.
Nothing?
Nothing goes on in adult ed during the summer. You could probably park.
Hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on. Matt, go ahead.
Adult ed doesn't have anything going on during the summer. We have a few staff that will be in Hickory Street building and possibly in adult ed, but you could probably park between, I'd say, 25 to 35 cars in that lot.
Matt, the one thing that I would caution is that we are having the loft. Remember, Ulitz is having the kids do volunteer work for 2 to 3 weeks over there. That's
Okay.
it. That's going on.
They
Yep.
have summer meals also.
In the parking lot.
Yep.
Okay.
So we don't have a defined parking plan that we're saying. We don't have a defined parking plan.
No. We were doing street parking. That's,
Yeah.
That's
It's-
that was the plan,
Crazy
right?
over there.
yeah, it's an issue, the neighborhood expects it,
Just
but
saying.
they like common courtesy also.
What about
And
the
that-
parking lot? No, that's too far, but where the leader store is.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Too far.
That's
The adult ed parking lot too, they have to be real careful because of the way you have to enter it and leave it. So it can get a little tricky sometimes, especially if there are visitors there going in the loft is like our food pantry and combination thing. So that's what Susan's referring to. But, as well, we'd have to probably have some cones out there designating spots just for visitors to the building, and then the workers, you have to use the rest. That's what I would suggest.
There are requirements in the specifications that towns put on the street that these guys bought into. And they have to have a certain level of decorum.
Of
And they have to take care of parking, working with downs. So it's not anything the committee needs to do except to bring it to his attention that says, hey, this is what we're hearing. It's in our spec and it's in their
Well, I
spec.
knew decorum, of course, not even
And
parking.
all logistics on the
They're supposed
site,
to arrange that.
Everything for logistics
So-
on and off site belongs to your CMs.
Very
That's
good.
what they have to do. So all you need to do is bring the what you're hearing and make them aware of it and it will get resolved.
Thank you.
Just talk to central office, Susan and Matt Brown.
Well, they're
Maybe
hearing
get-
us now, yeah.
Yeah, maybe you can get some accommodation for some spaces. That's it.
Yeah.
Adult ed.
All right. Next,
Thank you.
did you talk about this?
Not yet.
All right. Go for it.
Update on our allowance log here. So contracted allowances are still in really good shape. We've expended some for temporary safety and enclosure as we build the building. A little bit through the site work, site maintenance and unforeseen demo allowance. Through our CM allowances, we've expended 180,000 to date. We have 2,500 pending for our weekend off-hour supervision as we continue to work Saturdays. And then the CM contingency, we've got 113 committed, 400,000 pending. You'll see a couple PCOs tonight that are basically represent that full value, 400,000.
Yep, Bob Shapinsky's saying that there are summer meals served in the adult ed parking lot as well.
Right there.
Okay. All right, that it?
Got these progress update also included in here, the schedule update, sorry. You guys will have to review that. We've got Area D, as we've discussed, has created a delay on the project, so that's what we're working through right now with the design team and CSG. The cost is what's under question. The time impact is, a real time impact, but we're working through the details of where that falls for cost responsibility. So that's why you'll see the substantial completion out to May. That's mainly for Area D. Making great progress on the main building. I'm calling it ABC. That's where we're at.
I'm talking about the gym here, area decent gym. Yeah, the top, very top.
So when are you expecting foundation and steel work to begin on D?
As soon as possible. We're working with our.
We gotta figure,
our concrete
there's some things to
contractor
figure
right
out.
now.
Yeah.
Through the document correspondence to our subcontractors. So we've got to work with them to get them started. We got this Friday. And 2 days. And
It's gonna be one of those things where we're gonna have to find out more information and then bring it to the committee. So it's, like I said, it's in discussion. So trying to figure this out. So once we have a more defined, explanation, I guess, we'll bring it forward to the committee.
The prep work is going.
the preparation is complete, so we're ready to start form work.
Yeah, we,
And we got rebar on site, we have form work on site.
we're probably gonna take some measures to get the work going and try to minimize the holdup from our end, from the administrative end. And, that's where we're going with this. So, but we're gonna have to, there's gonna have to be some kind of resolution as far as, what the delay is and the cost impacts and stuff, and who's responsible. So. All right,
Mark,
yes,
so I just wanted to circle back. The dates that we will have the loft for volunteers is going to be from July 7th to July 30th. That's at
Right.
Hickory Street.
okay, so that lot won't be available.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Matt will get a count of parking spaces. It looks like we have 45 students, so it's going to be pretty packed there during that time.
Yep. Susan, don't you think most of those kids will get dropped off though?
The kids will, you're right. The kids will be dropped off, but some of the parents will be staying with them because it's not just like a drop off. So it could be pretty crowded there, but I'll get some more information and send Mark an email tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, Susan.
You're
I'll, Kyle, I'll send that your way. You get some word.
Is there a certain, now that summer's here and have a little bit more time, is there a certain day of the week that is preferable for those of us who now have more time during the day to come and visit the site?
Yeah, Wednesdays are usually good.
Okay.
Tuesday, Wednesdays are.
Just
Thursdays are very busy. We have our owners meeting, so we have architect on site.
Yep.
A lot going on.
Yep.
But Tuesdays or Wednesdays would be
Tuesday,
best.
Wednesday.
Plus.
we just show up, or I've never done
It's
this
best
before.
coordinate with Mike. Yeah,
Okay.
just
I'll do
coordinate.
that.
Yeah. Just to touch base, I think we should have gotten an email regarding, the Greenville site as far as CSG goes. That I guess Mike and Tim are filling in for the time being, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
And Jim, you're looking at hiring and getting another person in there.
We're having that bill signing at the end of the month.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. There's a bill signing June 30th
Yeah.
too, that you should have gotten a note on. I think at 11.
I agree.
Yeah. June 30th, 11. So at the Greenville site, the governor will be, since it's a bill signing, I'm assuming the governor will be there. But it's a pro labor. Yeah, it's a
union thing.
yeah. So,
Recognize the PLA.
yeah, obviously, yeah. So, and that's a good thing.
Or who organized?
I think Joe did Tronia, I think.
Joe Tony.
Toner, yeah, Joe Toner, yeah. Yeah, I think because the invite I got was from Joe.
Yeah.
Done your clean boots that day.
Thanks.
Clean now.
All right. Anything else there? For the Greenville?
July.
Like 7.
I think, yeah.
3 o'clock.
All right. Hang on, let me just get this No, wrong one. Wrong one. I got a few tabs here. Here we go. Probably clip some of these. Stanton Elementary.
Good evening. State Elementary School continues to make great progress. The last month, a lot of progress was made on.
Hi, folks.
Made on finishes in the building, in particular on the second floor. Casework, flooring, ceramic tile, finished painting is all happening. The building envelope is essentially enclosed. All of those storefront systems are installed. There's a couple of one-offs, maybe a piece of glass. Curtain walls getting installed, cal walls been installed. The mason has concluded his activities, which is a big milestone. He's got a punch list item of some things to do, but making great progress. Things that are still ongoing. A lot of those same finishes are now taking place on the first floor. Casework, flooring, ceramic tile, ceilings are going in. Rooftop units, or actually it was DOAS units 1, 2, and 3 were started on Monday, so we're starting to start up some equipment. And the gym floor is hopefully starting next week, or at least getting delivery of material, get it to start acclimating. Generator startup is coordinated for the 30th of June. Interesting irony on that date. And Frontier has already extended their fiber cable into the building too. So I'm just running you through some photos so you can see the progress. Abatement is getting ready to start next week too. The abatement subcontractor is scheduled to arrive on Monday, the 22nd. School will be vacant, and you'll set up some containment and get started.
What's the time frame for abatement?
3 weeks.
Okay. And then you rip the place down.
And we'll demolish it.
Flatten that sucker.
5 weeks. To do
That's what.
Saturday. The open house there.
See, that would be my kind of job, because that would, that precise kind of work. I'm
Yeah,
not.
but the students, they sign their names in the hall. So
Right on the wall.
they got to write on.
Oh,
the
there you
wall
go.
Without getting in trouble.
There
Right.
you go. Good. All right.
West elevation, that is the main entrance to the building. Canopy. On the back of the building, sidewalk started, that's the east kindergarten wing. Or no, sorry, that's next to the canopy.
Okay, you do that.
Our temporary air conditioning feeding the gym, right there, all those hoses of cool air going into the gymnasium. Temporary AC is set up. Piece of storefront in front of the cafeteria. The back of the building, or the east elevation. Same view. Stair tower 4 goes up an extra plate. That is kind of the start of the kindergarten playground area. Some under drainage and a drainage system, a lot of fencing around it. It's a better view of it. Typical classroom, got quite a few classrooms that look like this right now, where the casework's installed, counters are in, floors installed and protected, light fixtures are installed, starting to pad out ceilings and remove the temporary lighting. That's the window wall. This is the green wing. And I think the next one's the blue wing. So that's second floor A. Kindergarten classrooms are a little different layout. So that's the typical kind of millwork wall in the kindergarten classroom. We have hubbies instead of little lockers or metal lockers, and then each one of those rooms on the side, you could see a door there into a individual toilet room as well.
I love that. You can just see those kids in there already. That's gonna be great.
The tiny little toilets.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't thinking about that.
That would be cool, like this.
That right there is the collaboration space on the second floor. So it's kind of an enlarged area in the corridor. It has some ceramic tile. There's a desk in it. Whaler colors, green and blue.
We won the Stanley Cup.
Colors. Typical corridors, ceramic tiles in place, walls are painted, and then lockers are getting delivered tomorrow for the second floor.
All right, what color? Oh, that answers that. The upper walls are gonna be different colors.
A lot of different colors.
This is gonna sound corny, but can't you just see these little kids going through the hallway and they're touching the individual colored tiles and following them all the way down the hallway? They're gonna, they're gonna love this.
Touching sheetrock.
Yeah.
Been through that.
They'll have to have big.
We paint them with rhino shield.
Learning, corridor, looking into the learning commons right there. Also known as the media center.
But not a library.
Not a library.
As I was told 2 weeks ago.
Also the learning.
It's not a library. What defines a library then?
Yeah, I was told to move on.
Okay.
I work here.
Okay.
I'm just told to move.
Okay.
Whereas library requires Libris.
Oh,
books,
okay.
Since there are no books and.
No, we have books. We have books.
Like he said, he was told to move on.
Yeah, moving on.
He's a librarian. Good. There.
Stair tower number 1 is complete. A wire mesh rail system that'll all get painted, and there's a stainless steel handrail. That's stair 4, heading in that direction. Jim's
Sure.
made some progress, essentially painted. He's got a couple more spots to do, and then wood floor getting delivered out there next week. Staging area. Walk-in cooler was recently installed.
Hmm.
And the hood is been in place, and you can see UPS was getting installed today.
All right.
General allowances, we've preserved, quite a bit of the allowance money for the trades and also downs. So there would certainly be a sum of money coming back at the conclusion of the project. And then there was an updated schedule after that. We're prepared to complete the project so that the teachers could occupy and use the building on August 24th. We understand that is the first day back for teachers. It's the 24th, and I believe it's the 27th of that week is when the students arrive, so.
No, we changed the calendar, so the
Yeah.
first student day is gonna be September 3rd.
Should have never told me that.
Should have never told him that. He should have never told him.
We were
That's what
keeping
I
that from
said.
them, Mark. We were not gonna let them know.
24th, your date's the 24th. There you go. Yeah.
Teachers have
I-
to start with just saying something.
Just
The,
happened.
the date's August 10th. That's what I'm going with, you guys.
Generous, Susan.
You made a lot of
Extra
progress
week.
in 2 weeks since I was there. So this looks great. I think you could do August 10th, actually.
Thank you, Greg.
Anything to get this project along, Susan. I believe in you guys. August 10th.
It's gonna be a race to the finish. There's still quite a bit of work to get done out there. We're gonna see-
Oh, once we start tearing that building down, there's no looking back.
Paving is scheduled, the 20th. July 20th, paver is lined up.
I see a little bit of big pile.
Yes, we're moving some dirt around. The site contractor mobilized back with a couple extra crews, so they're getting a lot of work done now.
First, do you need some of the existing building to be removed to do the paving or to have the circulation? ready
Yes,
for-
it does. The building needs to get demolished, and there's an underground detention system that has to go in over the summer so that we can pave over it, and that's gonna be in really close proximity to the temporary drop-off area. So, we're pretty ready to make sure the building gets demolished. Our site guy can jump right in there and start that activity.
So you have essentially two fronts. You gotta get the building done, but you also gotta get the building back.
Correct.
Okay.
It's gotta create a temporary drop-off area.
Any questions on what you saw?
They'll still be paving and working on the ground when they're in school in the fall.
Correct. We'll switch sides. We're gonna be on the other side of the fence.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right, next victim. Oh, wait a second, Sam, Mike, here we go. Gotta close. Y'all should have gotten your emails today. I was thinking maybe we just amend the consent agenda. Might save some time.
Yeah, we could do that. Are we doing items impacting project costs?
Yeah, okay, when we get to that
Yeah.
point, yeah, okay, when we get to the consent, so, okay, where are we at? No, that's the Epiphany.
I don't know where that.
I downloaded it. Is this, and did you email it to me?
You just had it on the screen.
No,
The AIA.
no,
No, that's not it.
items impacting project
Oh,
costs.
no.
That's commissioning.
It was on the, I think it's on the phone.
That's.
No, it's.
It took me a while to find it, but I'm gonna double check the agenda, because I think you had the discussion about the technology.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Uh,
You can pull that other one up.
But, it took me, I was curious if you sent it too, it's in the beginning of the one called memo,
Yeah.
with phase one at the beginning,
Mhm.
and it's the first page.
Yeah, but
But yeah, you have, the furniture and technology before phase one.
Yeah, you got, the next thing is authorization, FF&E stuff. So,
yeah, all right.
for Stanton.
There's a, on the flash drive, there's an FF&E list. Well.
FF&E package. Yay, nay?
Yeah.
No, that's not.
Yeah, it's all the way to the left, Mark.
Yeah, okay. Oh, jeez. Do this again. Unplug the mouse every time I want to use it. That's,
Yeah, so these are the balance of the items for the OPTP area. It's the largest contract. We're planning on issuing a purchase order with the city purchasing department. For Southpaw in the amount of $6,531.15. It's for therapy swings, mats, and other small miscellaneous therapy items. The next items will be direct purchases from the vendor that's listed, likely on a P card because of the dollar value. So, there's a couple things from school specialty, some stepping stones again for the OTP rooms, some numbered stepping stones. Then we have there's a weighted blanket, and these various small items are going to be direct purchases from places like Walmart.com. The trampolines will go direct to the manufacturer. Balance beams will go direct to the manufacturer, and then exercise balls through therapro.com. And then we're also including an $800 contingency in here because as some of these items are direct ship, the quotes may not have included shipping, so we wanted to ensure that we had an authorization to cover any shipping costs that we may incur. But the total for all the remaining items at this point, $8,879.82.
We need a motion on this.
no, maybe
I
12.
mean,
Yeah, so item six, actually, yeah, the agenda's, I think we were.
And so I make a motion to approve for the FF&E for Stanton School, the amount of $8,879.82.
Is there a second? By Christine Stasio. Any other discussion? Here and none. Bill Hull,
Yes.
I think that's the only one online. Joe,
Yes.
Pete,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Sheila,
Yes.
Christine,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
myself, yes, 10-0. And just so everyone knows, Zato did let me know that he wasn't going to be able to make it tonight. So, okay, you done there?
Yes. The next one should say.
That's your report.
I think maybe go back to the FF&E, it was down below it.
Mike, would it have had the date of June?
The memo?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, then I don't think you did, because the one I opened was actually from May, because I was trying to search through my email and find it. You did send us a bunch of things, but I don't.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I don't see it here. I don't see it on my stuff.
I think we got.
Yeah, maybe.
Things.
Need a freaking. My stupid thing. I got evaluations, ONGs, invoices, monthly program update, and FF&E package. That's it.
Good.
Hands of stone.
Sorry about that. Sorry. Knocked out. Sure. All right, so.
Hang on 1 second. I'm gonna
Sorry.
just deciding I'm gonna do this. All right. All right.
So just the various project managers for the projects and Jim can assist with this. So, the first one's PCO 90. So the first list that we're gonna go through, result in a contract cost increase or decrease. And they're paid from the owner's contingency. So, the first one is PCO 94 for Stanton, which was a credit to not salvage the boilers that are within the building.
Requested.
Yeah. I can,
Yeah.
this was in.
I mean, they were they're pretty young. So
Yeah, they're like 5 years old. So
Not
originally
even,
the
yeah.
drawings indicated that they would be salvaged. We spoke to Matt Brown from the facilities department. He didn't ultimately want them. So then, the city was talking for a while about wanting them. And then, we asked Downs what the value would be if we didn't salvage them. And then this was the credit that was offered. We relayed that back to Josh and the Public Works Director, and ultimately the $9,044. They were just gonna take them out, move them. My understanding was that they were gonna get moved to Kelly and then auctioned off, so.
Yeah,
The
not worth the
9,000
effort.
was-
Yeah.
Leave one on the curb. I'll take it over to my house.
That's
I
it.
need to upgrade.
Gonna need an addition to your house.
Yeah.
Yeah, those aren't small.
So they're just gonna take them out and scrap them and.
I'll shoehorn it in my basement.
We're getting $9,000 back, so.
Just because we're not, this is gonna get demoed with the school.
Think of that.
Um,
Not much room down there.
They weren't gonna realize that much money from
Then-
removing.
then,
Yeah. Cut out to get out even?
yeah, that's up to them. The next item on the list is, PCO 002 for Greenville. It's for the additional pre-blast survey time and a few weather days. In the amount of $352,928.
Real quick, Mike, that one, we have the signed PCO to hit, CM contingency. Maybe it's just put in the wrong section on there, but
Oh, thank you.
PCO that's DCC and DRA signed is for CM contingency.
Yep, thanks, Carl.
Alright.
15.
Now, so it won't result in a contract cost increase or project cost increase, but it'll go against the Downs construction contingency. The next one was added tack boards and marker boards to room C203. And I'm gonna need some help on
So
this.
mass classroom, it is to make it in alignment with the other classrooms in terms of the deployment of textbooks.
The next one is Greenville PCO 58, power and data revisions.
So this specifically was at the custodial office where power and data were added, as well as data at the nurse's office.
The next one is Greenville PCO 63 for additional shut-off valves.
This was a request to by facilities to augment the isolation system in the building to better isolate specific areas of the building. So kind of furthered that program.
The next ones will not result in a contract cost increase as well. These are to be paid for from a Downs construction allowance. First one is Stanton PCO 92, tile installation premium time.
$2,003.
Yeah, and this is just the premium portion of the time on a Saturday to get the tile setters in there to work on a Saturday. The next one is Greenville PCO 49, MEP underground ground heater time and material.
Yeah, so this one, we utilized the ground heaters when we had them on site to thaw the ground inside the building to get the underground MEP started. We had a very cold winter to get that work going, so we utilized what we had on site.
The next one is these additionally to Greenville 002 do not result in a contract increase. These are coming from Downs construction contingency. Stanton PCO 87 for additional tile floor prep.
As I understand, it was additional leveling required for installation of the floors, tile floors at the toilet rooms.
Yep. The next one is Stanton PCO 90, furniture removal and disposal.
Existing furniture.
Yeah. Yep.
Was originally anticipated to be removed, so the demo subcontractor is now taking that responsibility.
The next one is Greenville PCO 28 for rooftop mechanical layout revisions.
Yeah, this was similar to what happened at Stanton. The basis of design rooftop unit was not what was submitted on by the contractor. It was a listed manufacturer, which resulted in some changes to ad sizes, sound attenuators, coordination.
The next one is Greenville DCO 60 for a utility control panel for the kitchen. I think this is the gas one, Kyle. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, this one was, same as Stan, I think approved at last meeting, utility control panel in the kitchen for the gas and electric cutoff was on the drawings, but it was not bought out as one of the contractors. It's time is not supposed to be the electrician.
And the last one is, it may result in a contract cost increase. This is the construction change directive or CCD that's been discussed. Construction change directive has been issued to keep the work progressing while the final cost is being calculated and discussed. So, you know, the nature of a CCD is that it comes across as a $0 change at this time, with terms as to how the final price is going to be agreed upon. It's in the package at the very end if anyone cares to take a look at what it looks like, but you know, this just requires a signature in order to get it moving, which is why it's on this memo.
Yeah, we're not trying to basically hold up construction on the project. We're waiting to figure everything out here.
Anyone have any questions?
All right.
For me, Mike, just one, what's data up on Greenville for 58?
It's to add like a data jack within the room.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
More jabs.
Or yeah, jacks.
All right. So let me do them by the school. So let's go for, could I get a motion to approve PCO number 94, number 92, number 87, number 90. Oh, what? Oh, thank you. Yeah,
Actually, it was Mike. It was Mike.
yeah, it's Mike. Yeah, bless your heart. And I'll put these on here. And yeah, I got them all. So could I get a motion for that? By Sheila Hayes. Is there a second? Second. Any discussion on the PCOs? Hearing none. All in favor? Bill Hull,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Pete,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Sheila,
Yes.
Christine,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yeah.
Greg,
Yes.
myself, yes, 10-0. All right. On Stan, a motion to approve PCO number, no, excuse me, for Greenville, I'm all right. Greenville for PCO number 2, which is, we'll note, is going to the CM contingency and not the owner's contingency. Greenville number 43, PCO 58, PCO 63, PCO 49, PCO 28, and PCO 60, and CCD number 1. By Sheila Hayes. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mark Poulos. Any discussion? Hearing none. Bill Hull,
Yes.
Joe, Peter,
No.
Peter, Mark,
Yes.
Sheila, Christine,
Yes.
Cindy, Greg?
Yeah.
Myself, yes, 10-0. Takes care of that.
Might need that back. That
Well,
document.
Yeah.
I already emailed you both, but you please send me that.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry about that.
All right, so that was all right. We need to do 6, right? At the FF&E?
No.
Oh, we do that already. We already did that. Okay. All right, we did that already. So I'm losing my mind here. Phase 2 projects, reports, ONG. Dan, you're up.
You did last month, Mike.
I'm gonna.
Yeah. Progress on the projects. And then I will update you on.
Okay.
Go through the narratives first and then we can roll through the.
Which one are we on here? Okay. Got too many damn headers. There we go.
Moriarty.
Is there another one?
There's one from this.
No, I don't see it.
It could be just,
I think it just goes from.
yeah.
Yeah, there is. All right. All right.
All right, good evening, everyone. As reported during the last building committee meeting, both projects have been mobilized by the site work contractor in early May. Motions to award subsequent trade packages were also made during the last committee meeting. We continue those planning and coordination efforts with our trade partners and scheduling kickoff meetings for boilerplate and more specific items like getting into our project management software Procore, getting submittals in for review, identifying procurement needs along with safety. Our mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and fire protection coordination efforts are proceeding accordingly with a target timeframe of completion in September. We remain focused on detailing out the information needed for foundations and steel procurement needs, mostly resolving clashes for underground MEPFPs and identifying dimensions for roof openings and penetrations needed for sleeve coordination for our foundations and structural steel detailing needs. Our reoccurring weekly meetings with CSG, DRA, and school administrators are ongoing. We're providing real-time updates for safety items, schedule look ahead, discussions related to submittals, RFIs, and design changes with the group. It's been a pleasure to continue working with Peter Camp and Uncas, and obviously Ashley and Greg at Moriarty. Looking ahead to the next major activities on the project, concrete foundations are next up. Site work contractor has been mass excavating and preparing for footings. Ahead of those activities starting, we have pre-installation meetings scheduled or being set up with the installing contractors, concrete contractor, damp proofing contractor, the design team, ready mix suppliers, testing agencies, and so on. So a few weeks ago, we had on-site meetings with Norwich Public Utilities and our trade partners to pre-plan for the work that is going to be occurring now that school is out for the summer. So we're focused on pushing gas and water and sanitary services from the street and into our construction site limits. And then obviously restore the existing pavement afterwards and restore the existing site improvements as well prior to the students returning in September now. Last item to discuss.
Teachers are gonna be there.
One more item to discuss before we get into some pictures here. As yesterday, we held the first pre-job conference with the trade partners and with our trade partners and associated unions for the Uncas project, so we can get on the same page and have a successful partnership between those two entities. So we can move on to the Moriarty pictures here. As you're all aware, over the last few weeks, we've successfully completed the groundbreaking ceremonies with local and state officials, along with groundbreaking ceremony for the students. Moriarty's in particular was held at the existing basketball court. It was great to be a part of, very encouraging to hear presentations from Peter Camp and Uncas and then Ashley and over at Moriarty. For the student groundbreaking ceremonies in particular, each class was invited out to take a picture with the shovels and the pile of dirt. And after each class was done, the ONG teams handed out ONG branded plastic hard hats and ONG specific coloring books to get them excited about the projects and have some coloring assignments to do over the summer. So moving to physical construction progress within the period, we're making great strides over here at Moriarty. As you can see in the picture here, temporary fencing activities that separate construction and school activities is nearing completion. Continuing to drive fence posts, running the chain link mesh and scrim over it. This location is specifically on the southeast side of the project, closest to Old Canterbury Turnpike. So next on the screen here is just another picture of the temporary fencing behind the existing school, continuing to separate ourselves, limit distractions for the school. I think it's working nicely so far, maintaining constant contact with Greg and Ashley over at Moriarty, whatever ways we can make their lives easier. Moving on to the west side of the property. This picture was taken on the downslope of the basketball court area looking towards Canterbury Turnpike. It's ultimately a temporary laydown and parking area for our trade base. We've already started to land storage Connex boxes and prepare the area for parking for the trades and then lay down needed throughout construction. Next slide here, we are looking to discuss that. Looking at it from a different vantage point. As you can see at the time here, we're bringing the area down to the temporary grade in preparation for our filter fabric and stone to create our laydown parking areas. If anybody's visited the site recently, it's all complete. The fabric's down, the stone's down. We got 3 or 4 Connex boxes on site. So luckily to have the real estate on this site to work efficiently. More progress here in the next slide related to temporary fencing. If you recall, a few months ago, we had agreed to not expand our temporary laydown area into the baseball field until NFA's season was completed on June 1. Season has since ended. So again, we've expanded into the outfield. Topsoil pile is growing in the distance, as you can see when you drive by. But we're going to continue to drive fence posts and run the chain link. Now becomes the fun part to discuss, and it's progress to our new building. What you're looking at is known as Area A in our construction documents, specifically the Learning Commons. As you can tell, building survey and control points have been established by the site work contractor, and they have begun to excavate for footings, working closely with SLRs, one of DRA's consultants, Geotech Group, for approval of subsoils prior to placement of the structural fill beneath the footings to create stone. Hard to tell in the picture here, but the footing excavations and structural fill continue from the media center, working towards the large topsoil pile in the distance. It goes the Learning Commons and the main entry, and then the gymnasium. So related to concrete, Marguerite, our concrete contractor, has released all the rebar they need for the Area A foundations and have mobilized formwork and equipment to the site, and have actually started today forming. They got about 250 feet of forms right at the corner where you're looking at. So making good progress. As a reminder, our flow goes from Area A to B to C and then to D, so it's pretty easy to remember. Next picture.
Highly technical.
Next picture here to discuss will be of all of the stone we've been delivering to the project over the last couple of weeks. Moriarty's a little different in the sense that we have ground improvements to make prior to beginning foundations in part of Area B, Area C, and Area D. This is known in geotechnical terms as preloading or surcharging the native soil. Essentially all of the weight of the new building is going to bear on the native land that hasn't been accustomed to all this concrete and steel and masonry on top of it for a zillion years. So the idea is to compress that to deter excessive settlement of the new building. Just to put it into perspective, this picture, is really only Area B. You're looking at really 250 loads out of the 900 triaxle dump truck loads that we are continuing to place. As of yesterday, working with our superintendent, we got about 650 loads in place now. So got about a few more to go, but we're getting there probably by the next week and a half. So, but again, we continue to work with Eileen over at CSG, and she's been great to help coordinate compaction testing with the Tri-State Materials Testing Lab to ensure, we're following the requirements in the geotech. So if we go to the next picture here, different vantage points of the preload surcharge areas. You can see how elevated it's become since the last picture before that. The permanent building is going to be perched up, sitting up on top. So there's going to be some pretty high exposed retaining walls in the backside of the building. Area D, your pre-K area, and then Area C, your 2-story academic area. So, you might wonder, well, how do you know if it's working? When can you begin foundations in those areas? And again, great questions. But we've worked closely with SLR's Geotech Group prior to bid to establish, to survey the preload and surcharge material. Basically we are providing 2 foot by 2 foot by 1/4 inch steel plates at every column location at points 15 feet in between the column points. So the site work contractor has a licensed surveyor and that they're working with to confirm the elevation of the plates every 7 calendar days. Those results will be reported to O&G, and then we'll pass those along to SLR's Geotech Group on the day of the survey so they can analyze how much movement is occurring. Once the settlement has been satisfactory and it's been achieved, the preload material will be excavated to allow for footing placement. Based on the geotech report, we estimate the areas to be ready for foundations about 4 to 6 weeks after we finish. So about a week and a half from now, we estimate 4 to 6 weeks, and we feel pretty comfortable about it. So
8 weeks.
One more slide here to talk to for Moriarty. Picture was taken obviously at Canterbury Turnpike's entrance to the O&G and CSG field office, gate number 1. You'll notice that both office trailers have been set up. Power's been energized, internet is live, so we have a fully operational office at the site now to host meetings and get the project progressing.
Good. Any questions?
I noticed a new pole. Frontier set their new pole. They had to move the primaries all up one of Canterbury. All that happened in order to provide temporary power to construct and field office.
Well, okay.
You can go to the next picture here, this would be Park Uncas.
Given,
Oops,
sorry, I was gonna say, given the earlier discussion on Greenville, we have parking plans?
we do.
Okay.
Probably enough for 3 and 5.
Not quite. So that laydown area that was constructed in the old baseball field outfield is a laydown area for trade contractor parking. There was about 65 trade contractor stalls available there. And then adjacent to the building, there's also some parking availability. So Moriarty has room for about 90 contractor vehicles. This has a room for 35.
Susan's still on? Because there's a primary in Moriarty.
I'm here.
No, I know, it's, Moriarty is one of our voting precincts for the primary in August. Is there any concern or conflict?
The parking lot will be open. The utility corridor that Mike was, or somebody was discussing earlier, we're gonna bring in the utilities, not off of Canterbury, but off of Waller. And they're all gonna go through what is currently the bus drop-off area. I don't foresee any impact because you're still parking in the area that's in the current parking lot and can walk to the front door.
We don't go to the front door.
They go to the back.
Yeah, you go to the back door, the way the gym door there.
So.
Yeah, near where we're.
In short, I
Okay,
think
so no.
that's fine. It's all good.
Well, I know Stanton's impacted, so
Yeah.
that's gotta move.
No, based on where they're parking for us,
Okay.
and then our own staff parking, and then for voting, you park where the staff park, and they're separate. Absolutely separate, so it's all good. Yeah, and their utility things should be all set by the time school starts,
Yes.
so our buses can come in, so that'll be fine, not that you use the front door for voting, but that loop in the back for voting should be fine.
Yeah, I was just thinking of August, that's all.
You mean September.
The primary
Oh, that. Oh, that. Yeah,
is
it
a
should be
primary
fine.
now.
Yeah, but they're not touching that parking lot.
Just.
They're all fenced off. Yeah. Please don't touch that area. Then we can still be friends.
All right, with the preload weight at Moriarty, how much subsidence do you expect on the ground?
We don't know. And I think we've, looked at it with SLR and their geotech and.
Yeah, my recollection from the earliest meetings that we had was 3/4 inch to an inch of compaction is anticipated. Of settlement, I guess, would be the appropriate word. As Mike described it, we're compressing the earth that's well below the building, trying to get that compacted.
We talked about this a long time ago because when we were talking about the calendar and stuff and what some of the
So
what
you're
they
not
have
looking at feet, you're looking
Yeah.
at 3/4 of an inch.
to an inch.
Okay.
Well, it's still,
Yes.
you can't have
I
it built.
want it to happen.
Yeah, that's it.
Right, yeah. Yeah, you don't want the concrete.
It's still a lot. Alright. Okay,
You can get into the pictures for Uncas here.
So just on the parking,
Okay.
it sounds like you have enough for Moriarty to wait for you to respond. So what are you doing for Uncas?
Guess
Or you-
what we've put into the bid packages is that the trades have 2 cars per trade. So I have 27 bid packages. That's each bid package is allowed 2 vehicles. The trades have all been made aware and reinforced as of just a couple of days ago when we had our pre-construction meeting with the business agents that they are going to shuttle. They're going to shuttle from probably Route 82. So they'll choose a parking lot to, gather their, some trades only have 6, some trades, probably my biggest trade has 10 employees. And so where the crunch will occur is when we're at the point of where the building finishes are going. Concrete trades are going to fit on the site, no problem. Structural steel, no problem. Once we get to drywall and the numbers of personnel start to increase, they'll park on Route 82 and shuttle the personnel.
In the commuter parking lot. Talking.
Yeah. They can choose where they park. Yeah, it's, that's what they have to do.
Yeah.
That's the way it was bid.
Right, again, another successful groundbreaking ceremony at Uncas. I'm just excited to continue the journey with everyone, so. Moving to physical construction progress, we're making great strides over at Uncas. Again, this property is probably the most challenging out of the two. You know, there's a lot more time and energy in getting ready for foundations related to tree clearing and grubbing activities along with mass excavation.
One sec. Have we ever considered reaching out to the state as far as getting access to the?
I'm avoiding that until it becomes an issue. I've been to the property. I know where the parking is available. I know that there's a path through the woods to get us there. But parking in somebody's private lot, so to speak, the state's public property, but it's private, has its own set of things, hurdles to jump through. So at this point, I don't think we're going to need it.
All right.
It was successful. My last project was also a shuttling project.
I mean, there's, some pressure that can be brought to bear in some cases, so I mean, if it came down to that, so.
Appreciate it.
But
Private lot that you were thinking about
No.
for Uncas for parking.
So the trades are responsible to find their own
Right.
parking location somewhere on Route 82.
Oh, and shuttle in, like you
And
said.
shuttle.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
Not anymore.
no, but well, there's room down by the river.
Oh, that one,
You might want to keep that in mind. Yeah, where there's some empty factories and everything.
Oh, right.
So that's a consideration.
Yep.
There might be somebody down there.
Allen all the way to the end.
Yeah,
Keep going.
that's true.
Right across the street, there's some big nice empty lots over there.
Yeah.
But they're privately owned,
No.
so you gotta,
Then you get into insurance liability.
it's gonna cost money. That's for sure. All right. Go ahead. We'll be here all night.
This picture here was taken along our temporary access road on the west side of the site, coming off of Elizabeth Street extension. This again is a temporary road we're going to be using through until completion of concrete and structural steel activities. Once these major activities are completed, we're going to begin shaping up that area with retaining walls and permanent fencing. But for now, we'll leave some space constraints. Next slide here was taken on the temporary access road looking east. We like to call this the upper plateau area, known as area C. It's got the dining room, the kitchen, the receiving areas, your electrical room, fire pump room, mechanical room that serve the rest of the building. This area specifically is, technically on the second floor, sitting on grade of that plateau. What makes this site more difficult, obviously, is the existing landscape. Where the excavator is shown here, we are focused on mass excavation to prepare for our concrete foundations that run along area C from one end to the other. Right out of the gate, we're going to be starting foundations along this line, which include a massive, 18-foot retaining wall. Next slide here is the entrance to the construction site coming off of Allen Avenue. Progress here is temporary fencing is ongoing, as you can tell from the driven post in the distance. Looking to continue our separation from construction and school activities. Moving to the next slide here, this is another temporary access road on the eastern portion of the site. Our office trailer is to the right of me in this picture. We're also at the groundbreaking ceremony location. But again, temporary fencing continues, erosion and sedimentation controls continues. You'll see a pole that was set by an NPU in the distance to facilitate our temporary power service to the trailer and service to the new building. So that's ongoing, along with shaping up that temporary road all the way up to the building site, to that upper plateau area. So next slide here is a continuation down that east temporary road. The existing basketball court play area is to the right of me, safed off by hard, barriers and fencing. Out in the distance, you'll see the mass excavation operation and export occurring to pave way for the start of our concrete foundations. Next slide here is just another close-up of the excavator attacking that plateau area. There's a ton of material being excavated and exported. These guys have been on it for weeks, feels like, including Saturdays, to ensure we're hitting our milestone dates. So progressing well, but it continues. Next slide here, more progress related to our temporary fencing and erosion and sedimentation controls along our property limit lines and adjacent to our wetlands areas. Similar conditions on the next slide here. More temporary fencing and ENS control installations continue. And then I threw another picture at the end here.
East limit of the project site, that's more ENS. As far as construction goes, I had a meeting with the concrete trade again today. We have our initial rebar delivery next week. We have one semi on Wednesday and 2 semis on Friday. So we are poised to try to catch up to Mike's foundations. We are starting with that massive retaining wall. We're starting over on the far west end of the building, working towards the east and coming back to do the Area A foundations where the gym resides on the west side of the building. Any questions on what we're doing for construction wise?
I bet the kiddos love watching the trucks and stuff from the housing.
Oh, yeah. It was an interesting thing when we dropped the trees, the residents like to actually sit in their backyard and look over at what was going on. We were concerned that, there was too much visibility. They had the opposite.
Yeah.
They get a lot more daylight and they enjoy the show.
Yeah. I bet they must love that. The trucks and you don't have to have a touch truck.
So you're putting the drive-in screen this summer.
Yeah. Everything will get, but from their
All right.
back doors, they can see right over. That's a quick fence.
Yeah.
So next we have on our pre-construction update, this is, relative to Uncas and Moriarty items completed in the last month, was completing the GMP amendment. And then looking ahead, I have 2 bid packages left that I have been unable to find the time to finalize. One is the fire stopping, where I have to go through and review some of the details. We held our scope review, thought we were in good condition with the trade, and then identified some areas of scope that weren't clearly picked up by the trade, and that would be horizontal slabs where they meet the exterior wall. I just haven't had a chance to vet that last concern before I can sign that guy up. The other is the final cleaning trade, and that I just haven't, again, had the time. And there is some concern with our low bid on the Moriarty site. Yep. The union has some concerns over that trade that I'm respecting their wishes that I delay my award for final cleaning until that gets resolved. So those are the 2 trade packages left for me to vet and award. Other than that, I can delay comment on teachers until we get to that point in our presentation. So this evening I was asking to have 2 votes or 2 motions related to bid package awards. One was a mistake that I had made in last month's presentation. I had the dollar value wrong on the painting contract. And then the other 2 are the demo and abatement that I'd like to issue my award letters on.
Is that item 9?
Yep.
Yep, demolition and abatement. Okay, let's take up that. Let's take up 9, which is the demolition and abatement. Discussion of possible authorization of ONG Industries to issue a contract for the Uncas Elementary School State Project 104-01120 and for bid package 2.02 demolition and abatement of Spectrum Environmental Services for a contract amount of $1,783,000. Any discussion?
Yes, I noticed the demolition package, there was like $1 million difference between the 2.
Yep, the general reason for that is one school is bigger than the other. There's
Okay.
not much of an abatement scope difference, but the building structure removal is more at Moriarty.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah, I was going to say Moriarty's bigger. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anybody else? Anything else? Hearing none. Bill Hull,
Yes.
Joe, Pete,
Yeah.
Peter,
Yeah.
Mark,
Yes.
Sheila, Christine,
Yes.
Cindy, Greg, and myself, yes, 10-0. All right, number 10. Discussion of possible authorization for ONG Industries to issue a contract for the Uncas Elementary School State Project 104-0120N for bid package 2.09. I might have to put my glasses on here. Painting to McKenzie Services Corp. For a contract amount of $371,755, rejecting alternate four to paint the roof screen structural steel. This is a correction from the previous meeting, I believe it says here. Previously authorized, the 347,755 was incorrect. Last meeting. First by Mark Ulos. Is there a second? Sheila. Any discussion? Hearing none. Bill Hull,
Yes.
Joe, Pete,
Yep.
Peter,
Yep.
Mark,
Yes.
Sheila, Christine,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
and myself, yes, 10-0. All right.
All we have left is the fire stopping, but we still have to work on
Right
that.
there,
Fire stopping and final.
So,
right there. Discussion and possible authorization.
Oh, that's-
Number
11, discussion and possible, if we talk about Moriarty, right? No, we gotta do Moriarty. Discussion and possible authorization for ONG Industries to issue a contract for the Moriarty Elementary School State Project 104-0121 and for bid package 2.02 demolition and abatement to Stanford Wrecking Company for a contract amount of $2,713,000. Is there a motion?
So
By Mark Kula, second by Sheila Hayes. Any discussion? Hearing none. Bill Hull,
Yes.
Joe.
Yeah.
Pete.
Yep.
Peter.
Yeah.
Mark.
yes.
Sheila. Christine.
Yes.
Cindy.
Yes.
Greg.
Yes.
Myself, yes. 10-0. All right. Number 12, discussion and possible acceptance of ONG Industries guaranteed maximum price for state project 104-0120 and Uncas Elementary School. Can we just put it on the floor? We'll just do that first. And then we'll discuss and get the details. By Sheila,
Second.
second by Mark Kulos. All right. You rack up.
Okay,
Yep.
so if you want to share that document with those that are in attendance, virtually.
Which one we got there?
The AIA.
Is that the one?
No. Come to the right.
Nope. I get rid of that. That's not it, right?
No, we're still, oh wait, keep going on that one. Did I keep, no, I created two files.
I think it was extended on the AIA one. It was
trying to
one
remember what I
after the
did.
other.
File. I don't see it up there, although you had it earlier on the.
I think there's a next set that comes right up under it.
I think the file name starts with OG.
OG. That's the only one that starts with OG.
Oh, it says amendment, I like that one.
And it's not showing that. Let me do this. Hang on.
Right.
Is it supposed to be called this elementary GSD amendment to John?
It should be. Should be.
So those are the documents that start with AIA. Where it is in there, but that is the document. It's, the email Dan sent us yesterday at 2:26 p.m.
Yeah, I think you just gotta arrow down more.
No, it's a separate video.
Yep. And that's that one. That's just 4 pages. It's not that. No. That's closing stuff we already went through. All right. Well, I'm just looking for it because I downloaded the.
It doesn't.
All right. Okay, is all right, GMP amendment. There we go. Uncas.
Then I'll refresh.
There we go.
VMP amendment does is it goes from, you know, where we established the contract with ONG to a guaranteed match.
All right, folks. Shame on you.
Management of the projects globally.
Which one you doing first?
You have Uncas?
Uncas, yep.
Yep, you have
Okay.
Uncas on the screen.
All right.
So the document begins with a formal AIA document. It's standard boilerplate stuff. You'll see the name of the owner, you'll see the name of the contractor, construction manager. And then you get to Article A1 at the bottom of the page. It describes what a guaranteed maximum price is. And then when you get to the top of page 2, you will see the dollar value for the Uncas School at $682,763. The other items that are.
And where's that, where's that post? Is that are we in the same ballpark of what we were talking about before as far as, our budget and stuff? And
Yeah, I usually like to defer to Mike, but where we are budget wise, I presented draft GMPs to you
Right.
at last meeting and the previous meeting. I did not include a significant cost, as Mike mentioned earlier tonight. It was about a $350,000
Okay.
general conditions direct reimbursables line item that I had not carried previously. So that's where, as Mike described, the number carried last month in your master budget was updated to reflect this number
Okay. All right.
in the current master budget. So the other items that are in the AIE document always say, refer to an exhibit B, refer to exhibit G. Those are items that follow this document. So the next piece of key information here is about 3/4 way down the page. You see the start date for us was May the 7th. That's the day that we actually mobilized the site work contractor, and now supersedes the previous date, not on Moriarty, but on August. And again, this is the AIA document that requires the formal signature. Supporting it is the documents to follow. So jumping ahead, next page, signature spot, and here's the attachments. So here's my cover, next page, here's my index of items that are included. Same old items that I had previously described as far as bid results and stuff first. But the key page here, this is your cost summary.
Yep.
This is the same format that was presented to you for the GMP1, utilized again for GMP2. The first or upper section of the page represents the trade contractor cost. You have the phase 1 trade contract value, then you have this phase 2 trade contract sum. This is where I'm going to challenge Mark to his ability to jump ahead and look at an exhibit. So if I ask you to roll 4 or 5 pages forward, I can give everybody an understanding. So that number that's there, one more sheet. Okay, bottom right-hand corner. That dollar value represents the sum of the trade contracts. Going back to line.
Can you tell us what it is?
$51,483,704.
And we're going to get that position where a lot of these numbers are too small. But I just wanted to give you an understanding of where to find a piece of information that's in the summary of the cost is supported by a document that's within the attachment. So there's your $51 million number. If Mark jumps back to page 1, that would be the sum of the phase 1 and phase 2 first 2 line items. Below that are the allowances. These are the GMP allowances that, similar to what Downs carried. We, on the first phase, had a $20,000 line item allowance in case some breakers change. We haven't touched that number, so it's intact and carried forward at the same value here. And then we have a list of GMP allowances. So to save everybody some trouble and Mark jumping around too much, that is a different exhibit. It's exhibit C1. And I can just list off for you what is included in that.
Yeah, I just want to correct you. We did use some of that alone.
We charge that to the CMP tickets. Right, when I make a mistake on the breakers.
Oh, right.
The last PCO or the one that's on the PCO in the project thus far was applied to the CM contingency, not to the owner's allowance. So I was just about to describe the allowances for this phase. I have a value of $285,000 for deferred alternates number 2 and 3. If you recall, I did not want to award those based on the bid prices because I'm going to get better pricing for you. So I've carried that as a line item as an allowance. So it's captured in your GMP. You're not going to see it as a change later. My next allowance is a $10,000 allowance for safety related items, some call protection that I became aware of that I wanted to, I know I'm going to run into some costs there. So I set aside $10,000 for that. A larger item that I became aware of as a scope gap was winter protection at some of the larger insulated metal panel systems. So I carried an $80,000 allowance for that. And a $60,000 allowance for when we finish up the new school and we build a temporary parking lot for the staff, and then we build our temporary means and methods for bus drop off and parent drop off. I carried a $60,000 allowance for what ifs. You know, we want to ensure, number one, we have safe egress. Number two, we have safe lighting on the egress paths. And it's just a set aside value because I want to make sure I'm giving you a guaranteed maximum price. Lastly, we carried a $60,000 allowance for premium labor. Within the trade contracts, we do have premium labor captured for certain activities, everything up through building dry-in. And then again, for certain trades, have to carry some premium, like the flooring trade, the painting trade. Once those are expended, we have this allowance that may or may not get used, but it's carried in a GMP. So that is what is Exhibit C2 and the allowances for that. If I move to the next section, we had a 47,000, first page again, but the middle section is general conditions and reimbursables. The first item in that center section was the RAM drafting or pre-detailing package. Same cost, just carried forward from phase 1. In phase 2, there's a staffing line item. Same cost that we presented to you when we provided our response to your request for proposal. Same value, it's actually a little bit less because we moved $37,000 out of that line item down into what's known as the direct reimbursables. So after that staffing line item, you have bid advertising costs for phase 1 and phase 2. The next item is a direct reimbursables. This is the number that I did not carry last month. And that was just an oversight on my part. We have within the RFQ, our proposal is based on transparency of what our general conditions costs are. And we provide backup and then we get reimbursed on the actual numbers. So again, saving Mark to jump to that page, but located as Exhibit E in the backup. Items there include like the field offices, stationery and supplies, communications equipment, photocopying, drinking water, temporary heat fuel is a big one. Security cameras on Uncas, I carried a larger line item for that. And these are called direct reimbursable because we track the costs. We get reimbursed straight from actual cost. Surveys and a time lapse. So that is what is known as direct reimbursables. Beyond that, we have straight percentages for contingency, we have straight percentages for insurance and PFD bonds, on the fulfillment bonds, and for the fee. That gets you to the bottom line, 57 million. It's too small for me.
682,762.
Number I should have memorized.
Classic.
Okay, so that's the all important page. I can take Mark on start jumping through pages. Again, the next 3 or 4 pages are the bid results. And then when you get past the color yellow, you get to these are the contract awards. Again, the only 2 that are not 100% solid for me at this point are the fire stopping and the final cleaning. So there's your number on the bottom right-hand corner. That's the bulk of the cost of the project. And next page. So that's every trade package listed with the now apparent and recommended low contractor. Another exhibit to the amendment is what alternates were accepted. The first two line items there are the two line items that were incorporated in the trade contract amounts. The one for the larger bleachers and the one for the roof screens. I list the rejected alternates and then a reminder that you have one pending alternate. Within the base contract, we install the infrastructure wiring for what's known as a DEA system or a bidirectional antenna that helps the emergency services have service within the building. And then
A repeater?
Yeah. There you go. A repeater within the building and head-end equipment. And so through the bid process, we identified if we don't need that system, we don't know until we get to the building is built. By then, the infrastructure needs to be in. So the cabling is now in, but the head-end equipment is worth $45,000, and you will get that money back if you have signal in the building and you don't need it. So that's the list of alternates that's just provided for reference. And then we get to Exhibit C1, which were those GMP amendments. Listed again as I just described them for you. And then Exhibit C2 is a list of all of the allowances carried within the trade contract amounts. Similar to what you hear Downs referring to as they say they utilizing some of the trade allowances. Those are all the numbers, or those are all the items that we carry in the trade contract and bid packages for picking up items of scope that are undefined. Those values are in the trade contract amounts. They will be defined as each contract gets awarded, but your cost is already in the GMP. Next page is our staffing matrix.
Can you make that a little smaller? Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna put it on 2 pages, but yeah, that's a calendar across the top of the page. That's the same staffing plan that we had when we presented the project at the same value, so there's no adjustment to that, except again, we had a small 35K number in there that's moved to the direct reimbursables. So that's what's known as a staffing matrix, Exhibit F. And then we have, that's the list of direct reimbursables I spoke to. So that's everything that's listed there. And then you get to what's known, my exhibit numbers wrong, letters.
Mixed up.
This is Exhibit F. This is assumption qualifications. So these are the items that I look into to make sure that I have a clear understanding with this group and with CSG. As I look to the project and make sure that we are buying and agreeing on the same numbers. Simple items, like item 1 is the permit. The permit cost is excluded from our GMP as C&G is funding those permit costs directly. I can run through all of them, but the next one says the project is tax exempt. Item 3 represents the owner's items that are typically owner items such as move management services, special inspections and testing, abatement observation. All those items we coordinate but are funded directly through the owner's budget. Similar with item 4 is a building commissioning item. Item 5, already off your screen, is just a list of all the utilities that sometimes we provide, sometimes are in the owner's budget. On this particular project, everything is in the owner's budget, as far as, cost to NPU or cost to say Frontier for bringing in the health data services. Similar to these items, I've got quite a few of them that I don't need to speak to. Anybody has any questions on any one particular? These have been reviewed a couple of different times by CSG, and we've come to agreement on all the items that are identified here. It goes so far as to speak to the salvageable items. I speak to the allowances. I speak to how we're going to bill our general conditions and staffing costs. We will be billing more heavily in the first 19 months of the job, and then we kick down as we go through the demolition and abatement phase. That's about it. I think one of the items here defines when you have to remove your product from the building so we can start abatement. As you heard from Downs earlier, they have a very aggressive schedule for the demo and abatement process. And it is because, similar to Stanton, we have to have portions of that building removed and permanent parking lot installed in the footprint in order to open the school for the August of 27. But that's what's known as general conditions, qualifications. And then, last but not least, I get to my two exhibit F.
We don't know why.
I get to the next page, which is the next piece of information, which are unit costs.
Yeah.
Again, those are items that are included in the bid package for defining unit cost values as we go into contract with the trades. So you see what the values are.
Question.
Yes.
Just out of curiosity, so I learned some loose link tells under masonry. What is that?
So when brick has to support itself over a window, it's either supported by a hung lintel, which means it's welded to the building structure, or it's a loose lintel, which means it's laid loose in the masonry as the masonry comes up. It extends 8 inches onto the masonry adjacent on both sides.
Like a metal angle iron or something like that.
Supporting brick.
You know, yeah.
Yeah. Why it's loose because it's not bolted in. Yep.
Surprised I even knew that.
Just the way that the brick holding it is.
Yep. And the angle being strong enough to carry the brick that it's carrying. So that's
Rigid.
all of our unit costs. Sometimes we use them, sometimes we find it better to negotiate pricing, but they differ. Like some I threw out right out of the gate that trades have carried because I know that I can do better when I negotiate the price. And the last exhibit is the list of documents. This is all of the drawings that our GFP is based upon. So that's our process for going about how we develop the GMP. Having vetted 95% of the cost of the project and being confident in the awards to these recommended contractors, we can arrive at the GMP and move forward into the construction phase.
All right. Well, we got Uncas up, and so we're gonna just do this a lot of order. So I'm just gonna go with that total cost, I guess.
57.
Right. That's the magic number.
$1,682,762. Can we get a roll call vote because Sheila already made a motion to accept and Mark said.
Yep. Exactly. Thank you very much. I know we're getting late here. Let's go. Any other discuss? Any other discussion? Yeah. Hearing none. Bill Hall.
Yes.
GMP for Uncas. Thank you. Joe. Pete.
Yes.
Peter. Mark.
Yes.
Sheila. Christine.
Yes.
Cindy.
Yes.
Greg.
Yes.
Mark. Yes. 10-0. All right. I don't think we need the same explanation for Moriarty. Let's go. We just go over the numbers.
If you start to go all over again, I'm gonna move to adjourn.
I don't need to go through that level of detail again.
Yes.
It's important that you're not going to stumble through the document and you're able to correlate where the exhibits are and how they correlate back to the all important exhibit A1.
Yeah.
Which for this project is 59 million.
Got it narrowed down.
Oh, sorry.
59,904,645. I think just a couple of things that are a little different here. The allowances and the direct reimbursables are slightly different. Again, values that I carried under your VMP allowances, a little bit less here for what is that temporary protection, a little bit more here for what may be required in order to keep your parking lot, your temporary staff parking lot active. At the Uncas site, the expectation is we'll have enough parking to where the temporary staff lot will be removed by the time we get to the winter of 27. At Moriarty, we will not. And that staff parking lot will remain through the winter, which means you may need a little bit more lighting, you may need a little bit more sidewalk, which is why I carried a slightly higher number. Other than that, it's based again on the trade contract amounts. That's the biggest delta between the two GMPs.
Okay.
Staffing is Same.
So could I get a motion, please? I hear you, but I'm gonna read it out. Discussion of possible authorization of O&G Industries to issue a contract for the Moriarty Elementary School State Project 104-0121 and for bid package 2.02 demolition and abatement. No, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Sorry. Discussion of possible acceptance of O&G Industries guaranteed maximum price for state project 104-0121 and John M. Moriarty Elementary in the amount of I'm gonna say the number $59,904,645. So moved by Sheila. Second.
Second.
Mark. Any just end of the discussion? Say no, please. No. All in favor. Bill Hull,
Yes.
Joe, Pete,
Yeah.
Peter, Mark,
Yeah.
Sheila, Christine, Cindy,
Yeah.
Greg,
Yeah.
myself, yes, 10-0. I was, we will not be doing this much every month, but this is kind of long. Go ahead.
6 projects.
Yeah, I know.
Quick question, do you determine if you need a teacher at Moriarty? Because I know we had trouble at Norwich Tech, which is like at the same elevation.
I cannot.
It's
determine
required,
until
it's
the building-
required by code that you build the infrastructure and test the building when it's, as it
Sit
comes
and
along.
Yeah.
So it's in every project that you.
So you got to go. So they got to put somebody in there, and they got to go all around the place, and that bad projects. Worked on those projects before. So yeah, impact items, Mike.
We don't need that agenda item this month.
Oh, woohoo! All right, phase 3 projects, teachers, middle school reports, O&G. I think we've covered that.
Sorry, I'm sorry, we're all set. I need to hear this.
So if I can,
Oh,
on
yeah?
the teachers, we
Oh.
didn't have much activity this month. We did finish up our value management cost exercises on the site work items. Delivered those just to close up the SD estimate. We're looking forward to those DD set of documents so that we can
That's right.
provide our estimate for the next month.
Okay. All right, consent agenda. So should have got an email regarding a couple of other additional invoices for O&G. If you got those in the hard copy there, thank you. In the box.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna add. Let's see. Now, what school is this for? These
The
four.
one that says you is for office, the one that says.
Okay, thank you. So we're gonna add. Got to give this to Catherine. So yeah, we're gonna add. I think I can just add it to the agenda. So I'm just gonna read it into the record. So under Moriarty, add O&G to the consent agenda. Add O&G Industries invoice number M-C-4 in the amount of $1,453,834.82. Add under Uncas. Add O&G Industries invoice number U-C-4 in the amount of $1,341,890.92. Should have received those via email earlier today. Those should have been submitted earlier. I'm gonna do it this time. All right, but I do expect the stuff to be in the week prior. Thank you. I know, I know you guys are busy, so hence the slack. So
Make a motion for the consent agenda as presented and amended by the chair.
by Sheila Hayes. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, Bill Hull,
Yes.
Joe,
Yeah.
Pete,
Yeah.
Peter,
Yeah.
Mark,
Yes.
Sheila. Yeah, I gotta remember about like Christine, Cindy, Greg,
Yes.
myself, yes, 10-0. All right, is there anything we gotta bring up now? I think we covered
Yeah,
the invoices. Okay.
Selection of the commissioning agent.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
This,
On the
we have to
agenda.
pay 5.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm not. I am not this should not take long, I hope.
Right there, the RFP.
Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, so you see a summary here. So the average. So go ahead. Go ahead.
So, we solicited the RFP, just like all the other RFPs we've done. We received, 3 responses, one from, Innovative Engineering Services in the amount of $68,400. One from Wright Commissioning in the amount of $102,800, and one from Catalyst Commissioning Group in the amount of $120,500. Admittedly, they weren't some of the better responses I think we've received for the other projects. In evaluating the scores, the responses that we received from the members of the committee that scored them, Innovative Engineering Services came out ahead. And the reason the averages are low is because there weren't a lot of evaluations completed, but nonetheless, just that, Innovative Engineering Services is the commissioning agent for the all 4 other projects. The ad alternates for 100% functional testing and the emergency generator testing were accepted for the other projects. I think, I would be of the opinion and advise you to accept those here as well. And then it really comes down to a vote.
And obviously they're the least expensive, so by far.
What's the explanation between the being on this?
Well, I'll tell you, if you read Wright's RFP, they got they don't have any Connecticut experience really.
I know. I'm just talking.
Oh.
I just.
Who knows? Yeah.
It would be familiarity with the drawings. I mean, they've won 4 projects that, had basically the same specifications because they were all developed by DRA. It could be market conditions and they're looking for work. IES typically is lower than the others. Difficult to say exactly without being them as to why their price is that much lower than the others.
That typical.
What's that?
Is that typical?
I think if we went back to the spreads of price for the other 2 phases, I think what I'll note is that IES was
Lower.
a fair deal lower than the others on all the other
They were lower.
projects. Maybe not quite this much, but they were lower than the others on the other projects. In saying that, they've performed on both Stanton and Greenville, and they'll begin working with us on Uncas and Moriarty soon.
Essentially, they're giving us a volume discount.
Maybe.
Go for it.
Yeah, at this point, we're getting a little punchy here. So could I get a motion to Innovative Engineering Services?
Well, is there any other?
Yeah, we're right. Well, we can make the motion in second, and then if there's any more questions, Christine
IES.
and
I'll second.
Greg Velocity with a second. I will just note that normally we would do something like this. We wouldn't do this part in executive session, but we would have had that discussion in executive session. But because of how we are tonight, we're just going to leave it this way. So, is there any questions, discussion, or whatever? Who?
Why?
Was there? Yeah, you'd have to ask IES too. Oh, it's goes. Oh no, because there weren't that many submitted, and that's divided by the entire amount of the committee.
Yeah, it's an average, and you have to take all the committee scores, and if you didn't receive scores, they would automatically get a 0, and that would skew the number down on the basis of an average.
But it's Yeah, we're judging based on average anyway, so it's, it balances out in the end. I thought Catalyst wrote a damn good RFP though. But I'm just saying, but they were also the highest. Yeah, it was well written. Compared to the other two. All right, any other discussion? Hearing none. Bill Hull,
Yes.
Joe, Pete,
Yeah.
Peter,
Yeah.
Mark,
Yes.
Sheila, Christine, Cindy, Greg.
Yeah.
Myself, yes, 10-0. God bless us, everyone. Is there a motion to adjourn by Sheila?
Second.
Greg's a second. All in favor, Bill Hull,
Yes.
Joe,
Yeah.
Pete, Peter, Mark, Sheila, Cindy, Greg.
Yeah.
And myself, yes, 10-0. Thank you, everybody, for sticking this out. Appreciate it.